There's a system truck in this parking lot full of milk. That's what we use as part of the bushwhacker mix. But we will not run out of bushwhackers. Yeah. Not a chance.
Well, let me just tell you
No
that
way.
your NHL Stanley Cup playoff goatee looks fantastic.
Oh, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
You got the chops going.
Hey, I do have a question, though. When all the Alabama contingent is here tomorrow morning, because they're all coming to throw, I think around 10:30 or so.
Yeah.
What questions do you want me to ask them for you?
Yeah, we've asked a lot of questions already.
I'm going to send you the video of them throwing. And
we'll text you. We'll take some ideas.
We'll send you some. I'd worked out with Steve. I said, hey,
some inside stuff.
We need a little content since I'm not driving down there. So.
Thank you, Steve.
Steve, you're the best.
See you, buddy.
I appreciate you guys. We love you.
Love you, buddy.
Floor Bama. Look at that. Let's go
Gorgeous,
to Bama.
man. Gosh.
Jimmy FOMO.
I'm FOMO now. I'm envious.
Yeah.
Looks great.
I mean, how good would it be going to get lunch right now down at Coastal or across the street at the Yacht Club?
Oh, I'd be posted up on that beach right now.
Sucking on a chili dog out behind the Tasty Freeze. I mean, great. That's our show today. A little bonus seconds for you there. We're back with you Monday, 9 a.m. Central Time. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
It's not time to make a change. Just relax, take it easy. You're still young, that's your fault. There's so much you have to know. Find a girl, settle down. If you want to, you can marry. Look at me, I am old, but I'm happy. I was once like you are now, and I know that it's not easy to be calm when you found something going on. Take your time, think a lot, think of everything you've got, for you will still be here tomorrow. Your dreams may not. How can I try to explain? When I do, it turns away again. It's always been the same old story. From the moment I could talk, I was ordered to listen. Now there's a way, and I know I have to go away. I know I have to go. Now it's not time to make a change. Just relax, take it easy. You're still young, that's your fault. There's so much you have to know. Find a girl, settle down. If you want to, you can marry. Look at me, I am old, but I'm happy. All the times that I cried, keeping all the things I knew inside. It's hard, but it's harder to ignore it. If they were right, and I'd agree, but it's them, they know, not me. You know, there's a way, and I know that I have to go away. I know I have to go.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, here we go. Live show on a Monday after a really fun weekend in the area. Again, congratulations to everyone associated with the Indy Grand Prix of Alabama. Another fantastic sun-filled event out there. We appreciate you guys joining us and everyone being out there. We were there on Friday, had a good time with that. Congratulations to the folks at the floor of Bama. We'll get to the mullet toss later on, but we saw that at the end of the show Friday. Historic numbers down there. So we'll bounce it to that. NFL draft, recap of that coming up. But as we've done here a lot lately, we start the show with a little basketball portal news. And we'll get to that after I tell you I'm Jim Dunaway. That's Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Rockstar. Lunsford off today. Tyler's in his chair. Forrester's back there. E.G., Taylor Korn over in the social media center there. Kelsey and Reed up here working for you as well. Remember, like, subscribe, thumbs up, wherever you're watching us today. We'll get the best and worst of the weekend. Just when you don't think Alabama needs another perimeter player, just when you think Alabama may be, okay with that recruiting class being a top 7 recruiting class, they finished the flip of one-time Kansas signee, LeBaron Philon, and he's now part of this recruiting class that's coming in. It's got a 5-star guy at a forward, a 4-star center, a 4-star forward, and add Philon in there, and this continues to be an amazing recruiting cycle for Nate Oates. Technically not a portal guy, part of a signing class, but Philon was on his way to Kansas, and now he's going to be wearing crimson and white.
Yeah, the former Mr. Basketball, 33rd ranked national player. And I mean, I guess I saw this right. His junior season, he averaged 35 a game.
Yeah, I mean,
is that good?
Yeah, I think that's pretty dang good. Again, it starts to now you start to think about numbers. And, where does Mark Sears fit into all of this?
Yes.
I mean, there is a ton of perimeter players on this roster right now.
Just 12 roster spots are full right now. 1 open. Big guys expected to fill the 13th one. Some changes to that in a second. But, Brownie, we're expecting word today on a potential guy. And then there's a date to keep in mind on the other guy. But I think it's safe to say right now Alabama does expect Grant Nelson and Mark Sears back.
I would think so. I think that's the feeling. Grant Nelson has until tomorrow to enter the transfer portal, unless he has entered the NBA draft and it has gone completely silent. He's already missed that deadline. Now, there is a possibility he did it, nobody noticed it. I would think that's very unlikely. Generally, those things get reported very quickly. So I think him going to the NBA is past. If Grant Nelson wants to enter the portal, he has until tomorrow to do it. I think most people expect him to be back at Alabama. Mark Sears got much longer. It's not until the end of May that he's got to make his final decision on whether or not he comes back.
May 29th was the date you gave me.
Yep.
But Sears is expected back. Grant Nelson's expected back. 12 perimeter players visiting, according to sources.
This is going to sound ridiculous on the surface, but who is the more important player to come back now? Look, Mark Sears had maybe the greatest one season in Alabama basketball history, but you've got a ton of perimeter players now. And I know Grant Nelson, he can play on the perimeter, but he also can play big. And I'm just talking about with his length.
Yeah.
Could you at least make an argument that Grant Nelson more important right now to come back?
I would say no, but
I can see Lance's argument.
I understand your point, but I don't want to choose. This is
Jimmy Greedy over there.
And real quickly, before we discuss the roster, a couple developing things on the big guys. Clifford Omori from Rutgers, according to Tipton from On3 Sports and others, visiting starting yesterday this week. And then a crystal ball projection for Ugonna Onyenso from Kentucky is now crystal ball projected to come to Alabama. Now, you possibly could get both those guys and ask someone else to leave. That is a possibility. That happens in the real world. But right now, 12 scholarship players, 1 open, a big man expected. But Onyenso from Kentucky, now crystal ball projected to Alabama, and Omori from Rutgers or Murray from Rutgers is a guy who is visiting now and averages like 3 blocks. So at least one big man, maybe 2, still on the horizon for Alabama.
Yeah, I guess my question would be, how much extra money after going to the Final Four did Nate Oates get for NIL?
It seems like a lot right now. It seems like a lot.
I think the number that was asked for, according to reports that we talked about on the air, was $1 million more in NIL money. No more in my contract, blah, blah, blah. Just I'd love $1 million more in the NIL.
It feels like he's got more than that. The way they're involved in all these guys.
I mean, does anybody think they didn't have already?
No, they had a good amount already.
They had a good NIL anyway.
They did.
And all of a sudden, if you've gotten a good roster NIL-wise anyway, and then all of a sudden you get an extra $1 million at the end to go shopping,
yeah,
you buy a better house.
I will admit, it does look odd to look at the 24/7 Sports basketball recruiting rankings and see Duke number 1, Alabama number 2. That is an odd look. And On3 is not that much different. If you go to On3, Duke number 1, Arkansas number 2, Alabama number 3. Arkansas number 2, John Calipari is the coach. Arkansas is going to be there a lot now.
He can bring the talent in.
Hey, look, and I know this is just the new world, but you remember how bad we used to dog Calipari out? How can you make a team? How can you put together chemistry when these guys are basically only playing for 1 year?
Well, that's all you do now. It's all you do now. You almost are doing it in football now, too.
I mean, if you think about it, Sears and Nelson obviously are returning players for Alabama, but their starting 5 could be 3 complete newcomers and 2 return. If Sears and Nelson both return, if Sears doesn't return, or if Nelson doesn't return, then you could have 5 brand new starters. You could have 4 and 1. You could have 3 and 2. I mean, I think that's the world of college basketball today. I think in a lot of ways, Calipari was just on the front end of it, of a roster construction that way. If Calipari were starting this at Kentucky right now, I think he'd even have more success because everybody's doing it now. He kept running up against teams that had been together 3-4 years sometimes.
And he was the master bringing in the best talent. We'll still see if he's still able to do that at Arkansas.
And what was crazy, everyone forgets maybe that the first year Calipari, or the first 2 years Calipari was doing it, people in Chapel Hill and Durham in North Carolina were like, we're not going to be the one.
That will not be us. That's not the way basketball
Very quickly, they were like, this guy's going to come play for us. We'll take him, one and done.
Yeah, I remember the first, I'm almost positive for Krzyzewski was Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
I remember only played like 6 games because of the injury.
Yeah.
And it didn't impact him too much.
Not at all. So, I mean, it's a different world of basketball. So I think everybody is going to have to learn to win this way. If you're not playing this game, if you're not playing this portal game, you're probably not keeping up in college basketball. It is college free agency, and everybody's going to have to be good at winning those. You're still going to have your random Oaklands of the world that are probably not going to play it this way, and you're going to run up against them in the tournament, and they're going to have one guy that can shoot 73s in a game. You're still going to run into that, but your top tier teams, I think they're all going to have to win this way.
All right, so Ugonna Oyenso from Kentucky, his numbers do not blow you away, though, right? But he is a big rim protector, 7-footer, true 7-footer. Omori from Rutgers, though. I've seen people using Clifford the Big Red Dog.
It's easier to say.
Best Clifford ever, Clifford Robinson?
Clifford
Huxtable. Come on, guys.
I mean,
he has lost a lot of steam over the years.
Do I get Cliff Branch?
I would go Cliff Branch over Cliff Robinson.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I don't know a lot of Cliffs anymore.
The Rutgers kid has better actual numbers that he would bring with him from Rutgers. I don't know what Onyenso can become. And by the way, God bless you, Chris Stewart.
It's going to be tough.
It gets a little tougher. It gets a little more tough than Mark Sears
and Grant Nelson. He makes it seem easy, though.
Yeah, Chris does a good job of it.
He'll have them memorized before October.
That's when you pray this guy's got a nickname.
Oh, yeah.
Like when we did the Auburn game, even though I knew Chad Baker-Mazara, I was like, man, that's just a lot to say in the course of play-by-play. Yeah. I'll screw it up.
And you can't say Mazzara because it's Baker-Mazara.
No, it's Baker-Mazara, right? And that's just a lot to say in the course of play-by-play. So I decided I'm going to do his name early, and then it's going to be CBM. I'm going to go heavy CBM because I think he's cool going by that. At least in my mind, he was cool going by that.
You didn't have to do it a lot because we were interviewing the carnival director of Madison County.
Turned out I was doing less play-by-play than I had imagined.
He only scored when we were talking about botanicals.
I know.
So that guy brought up the other day again. I don't think we'll ever live live that down.
We'll never shake it.
That'll haunt us.
That is why I'm so
forever.
glad we did the segment the next day reading the mean tweets. At least we always have that.
Yeah,
that was the best thing that came out of that.
We replayed that in the summer. We got to. Philip says he's working on some numbers over there. I would say Little T will have a graphic for us later on the fluid Alabama roster. We will get to that coming up later in the show. Dan Orlovsky with us talking NFL draft at some point late in the show as well today. Speaking of Nate Oates in the sand at the floor, Bama, and Kalen DeBoer down there. Rockstar cut one. Before we flip to the NFL draft, while you're pulling it up, my friends at Way to Wellness, they've had their work cut out, man. I gained literally 5.5 legitimate pounds, not just travel weight. When the travel weight went down, I gained 5.5 pounds during the NCAA tournament. That's a month. I gained 5.5 pounds in a month. Traveling ain't easy. I have dropped down 7 pounds since the Final Four loss for Alabama. 7 pounds down out there on the golf course, working it a little bit. Way to Wellness can get you back on your plan to lose weight this year, control some blood pressure or cholesterol or anything else you want to do by just managing your diet or your food consumption, what you eat, how you eat. This is a look of the Next Round crew getting an inside look of Way to Wellness, Leslie and her board-certified team. A free consultation awaits you. All you have to do is go to the website at planforme.com. Planforme.com. It's Way to Wellness. There's no contract. So once you start this, if you don't like it, if it's not for you, then boom, you can opt out. No contract, no sign-up fees, and that first consultation's free, and every plan is designed differently for each person. The Meltdown guys, Lunsford and Melton, are killing it on this as well. Go check it out, planforme.com, planforme.com. Here's the introduction down at the floor of Bama. Kalen DeBoer and Nate Oates doing the mullet toss. A mullet, if you're not from the South, is a fish. And these are real fish being thrown outside the floor of Bama from the state of Florida into the state of Alabama. Here's how it looked this weekend.
How about a round of applause for our special guests, Coach DeBoer, Coach Oates. Thank them for coming down and just let them say a word or two. And they got some stuff to go do today. So
we got stuff to do, but it looks like you guys are having a great time. That's for sure. So we appreciate. Chance to be here, be with all of you, and hope you're enjoying a beautiful day, great weekend, and we had to bring 2 of our stars with us. These guys are amazing, and Malachi and Jalen. So we're excited about the season coming up. Know we got a lot of support from all of you down here, and looking forward to this fall. So roll Tide.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate you guys coming out. We've felt the support since we've been here. In our Final Four run, we had the support from all over, so I love coming to the beach. Appreciate you guys coming out. I'm going to try to get back there again. Both our programs be trying to play for a national championship next year. So for all you Roll Tide fans, Roll Tide. The rest you need to just leave. So roll Tide.
Nate hurt business.
Nate's he doesn't mind playing the villain, man.
Well, I don't know what he was. He was like, I like the beach.
We hear he does like the beach. I mean, who doesn't though, right?
Well, Kalen was talking about had to bring 2 of our stars with us, and our buddy Steve Powers from the floor, Bama, sent me the numbers, and he sent me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including our buddy Mick Gillespie with the other players. And guess who came in dead last of the 5?
I mean, it wasn't Jalen Milroe, was it?
It was.
You don't want to throw his arm out. Could you imagine if Milroe missed the first 3 starts because he broke?
I think it was a good idea to have Coker on just to ask him about this because I think Jalen was kind of uncomfortable holding the fish.
Right. As one would be.
And then he was uncomfortable with the shoes he had on, didn't want to get them scuffed up.
Yeah, and you're throwing in the sand, don't want to get them all messed up. And I would tell you this. He was a little confused because they handed him the mullet to throw, and it was right in his hands. He didn't have to reach for it or fumble for it.
That's what if they'd have thrown it at his feet and he had to snatch it out of the
Coker out-threw Jalen by 25 yards.
Yeah. Well, Coker's done this a time before.
Yeah, that's true.
And there is a good chance that Coker had a morning cocktail to loosen that arm up a little bit.
Yeah.
And Coker, I saw Coker's throw, and I saw Milroe's throw. And
see, I didn't see him, but I think you got to rely a lot on the fish too, because I was asked over the weekend, how do you do it? And I said, never done it. I know you fold. I would go overhand, but if your fish comes apart, there's not a lot you can do.
There's not a lot you can do about it, and you're seeing some of it in the floor of Bama here. You choose your own fish. and they get reused. So sometimes they can start shredding.
Yeah, sometimes you got fish guts.
Yeah, they try to keep them dank. New word I learned over the weekend. And this is Coker. Now, he's got a good angle.
Country boy strong,
and he's
too.
got a good arm
Now
to
watch
begin
this.
with.
This is his angle. You see the out.
yeah.
I mean, he doesn't throw it flat. He threw a good angle.
Yeah.
Look how fast that guy's running down there to measure this thing.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep. There you go.
That's a haul.
Well,
right
that
there
ended
now.
up, I think he came in at 157, I'll tell you right now.
Well,
And
John
these are
says there's
by
a
feet.
special technique, and you can tell Coker's done it before.
141.7.
141.7. Did that win everything?
I think
or did that just won among the Alabama?
I think 157 is the record, though.
Dang. Coker probably has done it before.
Yeah. So a pretty good toss there. Look at that crowd, man. Just a good crowd down there for a good time.
I don't know if you guys remember. We never really addressed it on the show because it was never more than just a rumor. But now that enough time has passed, we can talk about it. But there was a rumor.
I like this when the statute of limitations,
Yeah,
we
statute of
believe
limitations,
we
yeah.
set them ourselves.
Yeah, statute of limitations clearly passed.
Okay.
It's nothing salacious. That Zach Calzada hurt his arm playing like a team-building exercise in Jordan-Hare Stadium. They were doing a home run derby with the tennis racket and tennis balls.
Under Brian Harson's time.
Under Brian Harson's time there. And this is no shot at Harson. It's not saying Harson was overseeing this, but this was just some sort of team-building exercise. And Calzada was trying to hit the ball out of Jordan-Hare Stadium, hit a tennis ball out of Jordan-Hare Stadium, and he hurt his arm doing it. That was always the rumor. I've never known if it was true or not, but when Calzada, just never developed at Auburn, that rumor started to surface.
Or anywhere else since he's left, right?
Now, this one would have been,
Thought we would see him in the UFL.
Did you really? Mm-hmm. This one would have been even more obvious, though, because you got cameras everywhere. If Milroe throws that mullet and immediately grabs his shoulder, could you imagine how big a story that would be?
Was it Dave Dravecki? Who was the guy that...
the arm snapped?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Bad Lance. Let's don't think that.
I would tell you, DeBoer, is this Jalen throwing now? Here's Jalen throwing.
Imagine if Jalen throws this, though, and just immediately grabs his right arm. And
Look, he doesn't want to hold it.
Yeah.
Our man, Paul.
Paul tried to show up.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't even fold it in half. Oh, no wonder he lost.
Yeah. He's just doing it's a photo opportunity.
Yeah, he's just trying to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
I would have taken my Jordans off.
This is Jalen just being a good teammate.
I mean, would you guys not go barefoot anyway?
Probably so in the sand. Yeah.
He's
did he throw underhand Dunaway?
It seems like, based on what he threw.
Did he take a lot of time doing it? Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
So this is
here we go. He just grabbed it by the tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing barely
Now
goes
Paul is telling him to
30
fold
yards.
it.
Yeah.
Nope.
So it's
Not going to fold it.
Quite the process here from Jalen. The play clock's
And the
running
drone's
down.
backing up a little too much.
Play clock's running down, Jalen. We're going to need you to throw that. Ooh, that was
a little
he
to
put
the
a lot
right,
of effort in
too.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
He put a lot of effort in that.
Yeah, past the drone, though.
I mean, imagine if he
And I bet he
grabbed
was
his arm,
like, why in the hell do I have to go get my fish?
Yeah, I would tell you this, that DeBoer may have walked past him and said, hey,
Yes.
94.7 feet.
Don't put too much effort in this.
I bet 94.7 is more I would throw it. You think you beat 94.7?
I would, if you let me throw 5 different ones, 1,000%.
Okay, but he had one throw.
But he's also the starting quarterback for Alabama.
He's got a hose.
I'm not going to shun it 94.7. Here's Malachi.
That would have been
94.7's a joke.
That would have been hilarious, though.
Malachi had no problem grabbing that dang fish.
That would have been hilarious if somebody had come out there and snapped the
by the way,
fish
Malachi,
he tried to hit the drone.
He
That's what I would have done.
barely got past Milroe, 97.2.
Yeah, he only catches them. He doesn't throw them. Florida-Bama mullet toss down there this weekend, 40th annual. Always a good time down there, and we appreciate the fine folks of Florida-Bama being our friends and being a proud sponsor of Rockstar in the lounge every Friday here on the show, and we appreciate that video there. The show being brought to you by our friends at Regions Tradition. We'll be out there in just a few days at Greystone for a great event every year in our area. It's raised millions of dollars for charity over the years, and we'll be out there for the Regions Tradition Golf Tournament coming to town, starting with the Drummond Pro-Am, the Drummond Company Pro-Am on Wednesday. And then May 8th through the 12th, you get the golf tournament, the Regions Tradition. The new tent that is set up on the 18th green, the Casamigos tent there. Also will be right there, White Claw tent on the 10th, just off the 10th green, broadcasting on Wednesday. You get Kalen DeBoer, Nate Oates, who are back off the Mullet tour to play a little golf. Nick Saban will be there. Auburn coach Hugh Freeze will be there. Charles Barkley, Auburn great, will be there. Riley Green, everybody's favorite, will be there, and a lot more. You can get your tickets at regionstradition.com regionstradition.com. Be there Wednesday and through the weekend. It's always a good party. A lot of music, including Black Jacket Symphony, will be there on Friday. So a good time had by all. The Regions Tradition, May 8th through the 12th.
Did we figure out
what
what
is coming up?
Black Jacket it was?
I do not know.
They're doing, I think, a lot of greatest hits almost, where they're doing like a bunch like Van Halen, Eddie, like a bunch of stuff like that.
Interesting.
All right. Before we jump to a commercial break here, we'll get to the NFL draft reaction to that coming up. But due to it's worthy before we talk about the draft and all that, to just Nick Saban's time in Alabama. He checked some final boxes this weekend. When Will Reichard got drafted to the Minnesota Vikings, that completed the entire roster for Nick Saban in Alabama. He had someone drafted at every position, including long snapper, punter, and now place kicker was the last box to check. So every position in football, Nick Saban had an NFL draft pick in his time at Alabama.
I figured Reichard would go, but before that, I mean, are you guys really surprised that Nick Saban didn't have a kicker go?
No,
I mean,
I'm not,
it's an amazing accomplishment, because I think that's one of those you can squarely say will never happen again.
Especially when you consider this includes long snapper. I mean, it's not like you're ignoring long snapper. This includes long snapper. And it is crazy. Like, I didn't realize, I thought Nick Saban had accomplished everything you could accomplish.
Did he also, his first Mr. Irrelevant?
It was his first Mr. Irrelevant. Alabama and UAB shared Jalen Key. Mm-hmm. Key finished up, though, at Alabama, but Mr. Irrelevant was Key. So that was his first Mr. Irrelevant, I believe.
Because he's had a number one overall. He's had the last pick of the draft.
And then everything
position, in between.
So 59 total draft picks, I think it was now. Is that the number you ended on, something like that?
Oh, I think it's more than that. I think he had 40-something.
J.C. Latham was his 50th, right? And they had 10.
You talking about first round or total?
It's got to be first round.
Yeah.
First round.
I'm sorry. Yeah. 50
he's high in the
rounds,
first round. Yeah.
So anyway, it was, I didn't realize that thing was hanging out there still. I didn't realize that was hanging out there.
Yeah.
And when I saw that story, I'm like, man, that's pretty remarkable. Did you have somebody at every position?
Yeah, six double-digit time. Sixth time that he's gone double-digit draft picks as well. So, fullback wasn't drafted from Alabama, no.
They didn't play a fullback.
They don't have a fullback in Tuscaloosa usually.
Yeah.
They have H-back. H-back got drafted. Placeholder, NH.
Yeah, I'll tell you though,
AJ
McCarron did it.
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Kalen DeBoer had quite a bunch of guys selected.
I was going to get to that in the NFL conversation next, but jump out here now. DeBoer had 10 draft picks that matched Nick Saban.
Yeah, I mean, so that you think about the combination of DeBoer and Saban, I go back to this. Like, DeBoer has won at every level he's been at. You look at it in the Power 5, how dominant they were in 2 years. Like, why would there be fall off? Like, he's not Nick Saban. I get that, but there should not be this dramatic, drop where people think they're going to start losing 3 games a year.
Now, some of those guys he brought in the portal to Washington, some of those he inherited because he was only there at Washington, 2 years?
He was there 2 years, but no, I mean, that was a banged up roster that Jimmy Lake had.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of these guys were brought in, but if he can bring them to Washington, why can't you bring them to Tuscaloosa?
Portal counts, man. You bring those guys in, that counts. I was just wondering if any of those were inherit guys, but 10 DeBoer draft picks, 10 Nick Saban draft picks. An impressive little stat there. The show being brought to you by Dr. B. He's got LT and Brown's hair looking good. They can get you going in the right direction as well.
Brown, did you do your treatment at all over the weekend?
I did. As I've got the treatment cap there. Did number 1 over the weekend.
Can't wait to see the progress. Brown went to see Dr. B last week. I went to see him almost 3 years ago. Since I went to see him, my hair has more than doubled in thickness. I was thinning out a little bit. Asked around. Dr. Beckenstein is the name everyone mentioned for more than 20 years. Women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with a TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst is back May 12th through 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It is Bama's biggest in-water boat show with more than 100 boats and vehicles on display, vendors and food trucks, live music all weekend long, and it is free public admission. Don't forget the Friday night fireworks show, free Velcro Pygmies concert Saturday, free mimosas for Mama Mother's Day Sunday. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. It's the annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst May 12th through 14th. LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Two things to tell you about as we come back to break. First off, one of the golf courses on our golf card, the Limestone Springs. I was up there 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. A little golf up there, beautiful weather and unbelievable greens. You can be part of our golf card, Brownie, if you just jump on right now, nextroundlive.com.
It's just nextround.store is where you go, nextround.store, just $99. 18 holes of golf and cart at Limestone that Jim mentioned. Also, the newly renovated historic Woodward Golf Club. Cross Creek, The Meadows, it's all presented by Urology Centers of Alabama. Value $247 for just $99. You can get the Next Round Deluxe Golf Card for just $119. That gets you all 4 courses with cart, plus an exclusive Next Round Golf t-shirt, koozie, golf tees, and a sticker. There are 0 restrictions. The card is good through October 2024. Supplies are limited. You can get your golf card now on nextround.store. That is nextround.store.
Spent a lot of the first segment talking about the basketball portal. One other note from the basketball portal, Nick Pringle ended up at South Carolina, stays in the SEC, and could come back to, play a big game against Alabama or 2 or 3 down the road. So
I'm fascinated to see, as good as the SEC is, with 7 coaches that have Final Four on their resume. Lamont Paris, your coach of the year last year, was that just kind of a flash in the pan, or do you guys think they're staying power? I know what you think, because you said they were the laziest team in basketball.
Yeah, Jim thinks the coach of the year had a lazy team. I would guess flash in the pan. I mean, it is so tough in the SEC anymore. I mean,
it is.
I don't think Alabama's going anywhere with Nate Oates. I don't think Auburn's going anywhere with Bruce Pearl. By going anywhere, I mean going away.
Before we get – go ahead. I'm sorry.
You got to think Arkansas is only getting better. with Calipari, at least the same. I mean, they've been to 2 Elite Eights. Kentucky is a question mark. Yeah. I think Florida's only getting better.
Before we get back to the NFL draft and some of the thoughts on what we saw this weekend with our college stars become professional stars, and I'll give you a heads up. Let's do our underdog picks coming up in just a second. Did want to say congratulations to Auburn golf. They won the SEC championship over the weekend, beating Vanderbilt. What was surprising in that, Browning, one of our guys that we like, Gordon Sargent, got beat, and that was the deciding match that gave Auburn the win over Vandy. Josiah Gilbert beat Gordon Sargent there.
Well, Gordon Sargent's the top. Are they throwing mullets too? Gordon Sargent's the top amateur in the country, but Auburn's the number 1 team in the country. So in a sense, I know they're throwing toilet paper, by the way. They're rolling Toomer's corner. In a sense, it is a surprise in that, but not a surprise that Auburn won this thing. Number 1 team in the nation. Yeah. So obviously a really good program. College golf is not followed heavily, but trust me when I tell you the SEC is college golf the way they are in football, the way they are now in basketball, the way they are in baseball, the way they are a lot of times in women's softball. It's pretty competitive.
Yeah. Deadwood, Russell, and several others, including Patrick over in the chat room. Jalston Fowler actually was selected as a fullback, not as an H-back, but he was a fullback guy. So Fowler is the fullback on the Saban tree there. University of Montevallo brings you an opportunity for your son or daughter to enjoy the 4 or 5 years that they spend in college. You can find your motivation right there at the University of Montevallo. Great business school, broadcasting school, theater, music, great place for teachers to go to school, multi-million-dollar new music theater building there. 23 NCAA Division II fully funded sports. Soon to be launched a nursing school and a lot more at the University of Montevallo. Beautiful campus, great student body. Find out why you belong at Montevallo, montevallo.edu, montevallo.edu. Okay, after round 1, and Little T put these graphics together. After round 1, we said who wasn't picked in the first round, who are going to be some stills in the draft. Well, the draft's over with, and we got where some of our stills ended up going. Forrester, whichever one of us you want to pick up first. This is Ryan Brown's 3 draft steals. Where'd they end up, Brownie?
Lab McConkey was a high second-round pick. He went very, very early on day 2. Round 3, Blake Corum, the Michigan running back, went to a little team Lance likes to call the LA Football Rams. Is he going to get some...
Yeah, so he is almost identical to Kyron Williams, who was actually second in rushing yards last year in the NFL. Right. Second-year guy out of Notre Dame. Rams fans were upset with this, or some were upset with this pick because he's only like 4 months younger than Kyron Williams. Yeah. And he actually is probably going to cost more money based on where he was selected than Kyron Williams.
Interesting.
But the Rams offense, a lot of people don't really – if you watch them, they do nothing. It's completely out of sync if they're not able to run the football. And I just think it's a great 1-2 punch now. Yeah. And so I thought it was a really good pickup.
Now, for those of you who have followed this show for a long time, you've known my affinity for Austin Reed, the Western Kentucky quarterback. I wanted the guy to hit the transfer portal just so we could see him at a big school. He did not. He stayed there. He had a good receiver, by the way.
Malachi Corley.
Yeah. He didn't get drafted, Jim. Austin Reed did not get drafted.
That could be the best steal.
I know. It's an
undrafted free agent.
This is like Dunaway loves to stick with things. Yeah. You are going to stick with your Austin Reed.
I'm going to die on my Austin Reed hill here because he went undrafted. Now, he's with the Bears. That means all he's got to do is beat out Tyson Badgett. I mean, who can't beat out Tyson Badgett, right?
To make the roster?
To make the roster, and Brett Rippon to make the roster. I guess he could be on the practice squad if you can't beat out one of those guys.
And did beat out the very expensive Caleb Williams.
I mean, is Caleb Williams a can't miss for you guys? He's not for me.
No.
Austin Reed could be your Bears starter one day. Let's wait until you guys laugh at me for my Austin Reed play.
Who's next, Forrester, of our gyms? This is Lance Taylor's.
So Luke McCaffrey. Have you guys ever heard of the McCaffrey family?
I have, yes. I have. This one played at Rice.
Are you doing an episode of Yellowstone? Is Bloodline here?
It's amazing. McCaffrey came into college football as a quarterback. They decided to transition him to wide receiver. He's played the position for 2 years. And when you look at his ability in contested catches, what he's been able to do, I mean, I would take a flyer on this kid. He was the 16th wide receiver taken. He's got speed. He's got size. He's got great hands.
Where'd he go?
Commander's got a steal with this guy, the 16th wide receiver. Next, Bucky Irving. I'll never forget watching early Saturday against Colorado, and somebody was like, like Zero has got to be greased up. Like they can't tackle the guy. He has incredible footwork, not a lot of top end speed.
Teeny tiny though, isn't he?
But he is small. But this is a guy that he led the FBS for running backs with 53 receptions. So the guy, he's kind of a 3-down back.
That's what I like about him is that he can catch out.
Yeah, went to your Bucks.
Went to Tampa Bay. Somebody that makes Baker Mayfield look tall.
Yes. I mean, Bucky Irvin's 5'7" maybe. And then Cole Bishop, the third safety overall. He goes late in the second round. Just such a versatile guy, kind of a headhunter, a little undersized, but Cole Bishop's hell of a player. I think all three of those guys will be on rosters for the next 5+ years.
And then my 3 steals in the NFL draft, Forrester will throw those up. Andrew Phillips, who I absolutely loved, ended up going
spells his name weird, doesn't he?
Andrew. I sort of like that spelling. Ended up going, was he round 3 that he ended up going? Or round 2, but he ends up going to the New York Giants. Maybe it was round 3, but I think he'll be great. Theo Johnson, I mean, you guys know I'm looking for a steal at the tight end position.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, and Brock Bowers doesn't do it for you, but Theo Johnson does.
You can waste all your headlines. Waste all your headlines you want.
That's right.
On Brock Bowers, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Theo
Where'd
Johnson.
he go, Jim? Who's
also
Theo
to the New York Giants.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
you know what generally makes a tight end good?
Good quarterback?
Yeah.
Yep. And then Michael Pratt, a 7th-round pick, beating your guy by 1 round, Brown.
Yes.
Michael Pratt of the Tulane Green Wave. Now, listen, I know Jerry Jones doesn't like Dak Prescott, but Dak Prescott does some things good, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think Michael Pratt is your next Dak Prescott.
Are you just saying this? Or you really believe that?
I watch film.
Who drafted Michael Pratt?
Michael Pratt Brown went to the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, so he's going to be Dak Prescott when they've got Jordan Love. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we might never see him take a snap.
Yeah. But who also is on the Packer roster? Former Stallions quarterback, right? What was he? Magoo?
Oh, Alex Magoo. Yeah.
So there's room for Pratt to make this roster.
Rusty's laughing at you saying, I watch film.
Well, the thing
I'm
it would
smart.
take.
I can do things.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to see this, but you go back to the Cowboys, and Dak only really got his opportunity when Tony Romo basically retires because of the back, and then Kellen Moore is going to be your starting quarterback, breaks his foot. Dak Prescott gets an opportunity and makes the most of it.
Yeah. I also thought I'd pulled Theo Johnson off because I wanted to get out of the tight end evaluation business because I'm on the record on a pretty hot one.
Yeah.
I thought I'd put in Javon Solomon, round 5 from Troy to the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, but you didn't.
Which I love that pick there as well. So that's a little NFL draft. We'll get the best and worst of the weekend. Brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services, LT.
Yeah, make that call today. Make sure your AC is ready to keep up with this changing weather. It's going to be in the 90s in some spots in Alabama this week. 205-229-2090. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train at Hemp Hill Services.
Keith says, so Jim must think TikTok equals film.
Well, it does, technically.
It's 15 seconds of film.
Those are what we call cut-ups in the business.
Is TikTok officially done? Like, if they made the ruling and it's only months out?
I think so, yeah.
I think they've got, don't hold me to that, I think they've got 86 days to sell to an American company.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's pretty much a pressure play to make the Chinese government sell it to an American company.
But even if they don't, we've got enough coding nerds out there that can come up with an app that is very similar to TikTok, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
What happens to TikTok Channel 4 Sirius XM?
Thank God it'll be gone because it's miserable music.
It really is.
It's miserable
like I've never
music.
even heard of 3/4 of the artist.
Yeah. So, but we've got an account at TikTok, and it's cooking right now. So follow us on TikTok at least for the next 86 days, and we promise you. Well, I can't promise you that. I was going to say we will not let Chinese folks steal your information there, but they probably already have.
Could we be the great American company that buys it?
Probably it's going to cost a little bit more.
You think so? You don't think we got that? Okay.
Yeah.
You don't think that's who stole your info?
Oh.
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. No, I think it's more to do national security. Like they've got a way through all of this TikTok app to shut down our power grids, our electricity, our food sourcing.
All the sorority houses, apparently.
Yeah, all the missile silos that they can use TikTok to shut it down.
Yeah.
Probably by making us all do some kind of dance at the same time, it would throw the Earth off its rotation.
It is interesting that TikTok became, I guess, what it is based on that. But that's not the majority of the stuff now, is it?
The dancing?
Like, no, TikTok's more about Reels.
Oh, yeah. But Reels is a different company. But yes, I know what you're saying.
But you know what? I mean, short videos, not necessarily dancing.
Forrester gives us his best of the week, and I'll let him do it audio-wise because I texted him 3 times over the weekend, all with these results. Forrester?
How'd your Rays do this weekend?
Who'd y'all get, Jim? Who'd y'all play? I didn't watch it.
We lost 3 straight this weekend. We got swept.
By who?
Who beat them?
The worst team ever assembled in baseball beat them.
That's correct.
No, we did talk about 120 losses for the White Sox last week.
Yeah. And then what happened last week? Sweep Jim's team.
They got these 3, though.
How do you like these 3?
Wow, how'd y'all get swept by the Sox? They're awful.
That was, some one-run games, Brownie. Some balls didn't bounce our way. G. Curbo says, the Rays cost me money, capital letters. I texted him on Friday night because I'd looked ahead. White Sox, Tigers. I was like, okay, this is a chance for us to get off that 500 line. I was right. Got us off the 500 line.
Yeah, you nailed that one.
Yeah, went from 13-13 down to 13-16. So that's what I get for trying to talk positive about the Braves, that I get swept by the White Sox, who doubled their win total in Tampa against Tampa this weekend.
Hey, the Sox are also 500 against the Braves this season.
Oh, wow. Against the Braves and the Rays, 500.
So between EG and my teams, that's who you wish you played every day.
Yep.
Every day. Good for you.
Can't beat the Royals.
Hemphill Services best and worst of the weekend. I've already told you my best. I played a little golf 2 days at Limestone Springs. What about you guys? Any best of the weekend? Did you open up the pool?
I did.
Officially?
Yeah. So we hung out there. Jack was the only one that got in, but he was swimming laps. But it was like 75 degrees, which is freezing.
Yeah.
But good weather. I got to hang out with the boys all weekend because Mom was out of town, and they stayed with me. So, I mean, that was pretty much it. Nothing exciting, but it was just a good weekend.
What about you, Brownie?
I got my first win as a soccer coach over the weekend.
Oh, did you have to fill in?
I did have to fill in. Thank you, Scott. I did have to fill in. So my daughter plays in a
Sir Alex Ferguson over here.
Yes, absolutely. My daughter plays in a soccer league, and they had a Sunday game. So Jennifer walks into the den. I'm ready to go. I'm just sitting in the chair. Jennifer walks in the den and says, "Hey, Coach so-and-so just hit the group text that he's got car trouble and he can't make it." I can't remember the coach's name. And
wow.
She said, "Well, there's 2 coaches. I don't know either one of their names."
Remember.
No, I don't know their names. There's one.
2 of them?
No, there's one that's the head coach, and then there's one that's like this older fella whose grandson plays for the team. And I don't know that he knows anything about soccer. I don't know that he does or doesn't.
In comes you.
So Jennifer says, Coach so-and-so, and then I recognize that that's the young one that knows everything about soccer, is not going to be there today because he's having car trouble. I told them you would help. I said, "Jennifer, I don't know anything about soccer. What am I supposed to do?" And she's like, "Well, Ryan, somebody's got to help."
I heard your corner kick. The way you set that up is some of the best.
I know exactly what happened. He got out there and played daddy ball.
And I said, she started in the goal, but I think she's the best goalie on the team.
Of course you do.
What was the final score?
Of course you do.
Oh, we won. Hang on.
Of course you do, Mike Davis.
Yeah. So we go in there, and I was like, "Jennifer, I literally think the granddad only keeps the ball from rolling in the parking lot. I don't know that he knows anything about soccer, and I certainly don't. I know nothing about it."
Spry fella if he does that.
So
no, it's at my church. It's not the parking lot you're worried about. It's the swamp.
The swamp. Well, they got the fence. You got to get airtime over that.
Yeah.
So the older fella, he's like, "So they tell me you're the coach today." I'm like, "I'm not the coach. I'm just going to help you out." And so I'm out there on the field. I'm basically just watching to see who kicks it last because the coach is a referee, right? And you're not calling handballs and all that crap and offsides because we got one kid likes to snowbird and get the deep pass and go to the goal, which I'm okay with. But I think that's offsides.
Is that on your team?
Yeah, he's on my team.
As long as it's on your team.
Yeah, no, I'm certainly not going to call it. I think the other coach is going to be frustrated. Well, the opposing coach, he took this a little seriously. One of the opposing coaches, right? So I'm just out there seeing who kicks out of bounds or whatever. That's really all I'm doing. I'm like, all right, good hustle. Everybody, let's go. Good job. Good job. I don't know any kid's name other than mine. I've only seen them practice. I missed the first game because of Talladega. I've only seen them practice twice. And at practice, I'm over there working on my tan. I'm not even really paying attention. So
he's all in it.
Like you got your shirt off?
Well, no, but I got my pants legs hiked up, try to get a little more on the thighs there, and the shoes off. Get a little on the feet.
You got your shoes off?
Well, it's in grass, Jim. So I'm normally eating dinner, I know, like, we get some fast food, and I'm just sitting there eating Chick-fil-A or something like that.
Like last week. Can you imagine that guy being the coach?
Yeah, right. So wait a second.
What?
In my on my church green ground out there, you've got your shoes off, your pants hiked up, and you're eating at the same time.
Chick-fil-A bag biodegradable?
No, I throw that back in the car, Lance. I don't drop it out there. But you know what else is? I brought a wedge and some golf balls because there's tons of grass over there, so I'm going to practice my chipping.
We had a meeting about this. Somebody was digging up divots on our grass. Are you serious?
Are you? No, I wasn't taking a divot. I was just chipping. I wasn't hitting like full shots.
Okay, so no divots.
No, there were no divots.
We've had some divot problems.
Yeah, no.
Wait, why do you even go to practice?
Well, somebody's got a driver there. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know anything about soccer.
Text Maggie and says it could be you.
No, I did not take a divot, Jim. I was only working to go chipping.
We have somebody that's digging like a divot, and now
it was not on the field. It was over to the side.
I know, but now that you say it, because it is sort of a pattern you tell me about, because it's not one divot. It's like a chunk of grass missing, and they're like, I think somebody's hitting golf shots, and someone said, well, no, it's too big of a chunk, and I said, no. Brown tells me that good golfers hit like that. They just go down the line, and it ends up being one.
It's easier to
I
stand
can
that
bring
way.
Bullet and Chili over to even it out.
Yeah, there's no
just ask Maggie if that's okay.
All right, so anyway, opposing coach, there was one issue where, it got a little physical.
Brown
I don't know if it's a foul. I don't know the rules of soccer.
Making divots.
So the opposing coach, he's down on the other end, and I hear him go, whoa, that's a little physical there.
Do you have any red cards?
And they said, yeah, they need to watch their tackling. And I was like, oh, this guy's upset about it. Well, I thought he had simmered down. Well, during the break, he walks up and says, hey, you may want to watch, and he points to the kid, may want to watch his tackling. That was a little physical. I was like, listen, boss, I don't even know the players' names. I'm only here because the coach's car wouldn't
Did
crank.
You legitimately call him boss?
Well, I did.
So
he came up all hot, and I'm like, hey, boss.
Is it co-ed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, hey, boss, I don't know the kids' names here. Like, I'm only here because the coach's car won't crank. But you better believe I'm going to take credit for this win.
I texted Maggie.
What'd she say?
Brown may be the one making divots on the Genesis lawn.
Genesis?
Yeah, it's where new beginnings happen with the kids.
Maggie text back, who dis, new phone?
I promise you, all I did was
Are you not at home right now taking care of the dogs?
All I did was chip. There's too many kids out there for me to hit full shots, but I hit chips.
More from the NFL draft when we come back on the show that's being brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision LT. Tell us about Michelson.
Yeah, 205-969-8100. That is the number you need to call. Ask about the pre-inflation pricing. Ask for Amy Toe. The next round sent you. Everything going up in price right now. Not LASIK surgery at Michelson Laser Vision. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. They've kept that pricing steady for the last couple of years. Again, 205-969-8100. I've got the 2015 vision, better than 2020. Got the procedure done over 20 years ago. Make the call that I made, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali. You got to look your best to play your best, and our friends at Bandwagon can help your team find the perfect uniforms for that upcoming season. Bandwagon is with you every step of the way, from developing your team logo design to choosing from their multitude of samples. You name the sport, they can make it happen. To get your uniform journey started, you can shoot them a message on any social media platform or check out their website, bandwagonsports.com. That's bandwagonsports.com. Next round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon.
Hey, you. Days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst coming up May 12th through the 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. Free public admission. It's Bama's biggest in-water boat show. Over 100 boats and vehicles on display. Vendors, food trucks, live music all weekend long. Fireworks show on Friday night. How about this? Free Velcro Pygmies concert coming up on Saturday. Mother's Day is Sunday. They're going to take care of mom with free mimosas all day on Sunday. For more information for this incredible event, go online, LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Back with you on The Next Round. Before Forrester puts up this new tweet that has just come from Andrew Marchand, I will tell you the reaction on this desk will be positive. It will make Lance Taylor the most excited.
Oh.
Not by who's coming to the show, but who's leaving the show on CBS's pregame and postgame NFL show. Matt Ryan is on CBS's NFL Today, according to The Athletic. Phil Simms and Boomer Esiason are both out.
Yeah, well overdue. I can't watch CBS, man. They're pre and post when it comes to studio shows. It has been so stale and unwatchable for years. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
I just really never watch the studio shows, honestly. About the only time I catch is a little bit of the halftime. I never see the pregame.
Halftime, some of the post of one of the late games, if it's a doubleheader. I don't usually catch the pregame shows, but they should get rid of JB too. I hate to say it.
Wow.
Well, look, I mean,
coming for JB?
Yeah. Look, and this happens in this business. You know, you get old, you get outdated, and CBS seems like that with Cowher. I mean, everybody but Burleson.
Yeah, Burleson should be the host.
Yeah, he could do that.
Cowher can hang around a little bit if he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ryan, and then I'd go a little bit younger.
Yeah. Do you like the Fox show?
I do, but
that's more your show, Lance. The Fox show, NFC.
Bradshaw has gotten a little.
That act's a little
shaky,
old, you think?
But he was the big get for them when they started.
Yeah.
Fox, him, and Madden were the big gets to have over on Fox.
Yeah, but I think Howie's still Howie. I think Jimmy Johnson and Bradshaw are getting a little outdated as well.
And I'm afraid Kurt McAfee may be here in town, but not a huge fan.
You're coming for JB and McAfee?
Yeah.
No, I would literally 4 out of the 5. Burleson would be the only guy left.
Yeah, in that crew.
Kurt Menefee.
So the new cast will be James Brown's hanging around, Nate Burleson, Bill Cowher, J.J. Watt, Matt Ryan. Yep.
Yeah, they are definitely getting younger.
Combined 48 years on that show.
I guess you can't blow them all out because HR would have something to say about that, right?
You can't blow them up, not for age.
I guarantee there was a young VP that went in there, 32-year-old, went to MIT. He's like, hey, look, we're getting rid of everybody. We can't do that.
No, we're not.
Florida Atlantic 7-foot center Vlad Golden was in the NBA. He is withdrawn. He is going to go to Michigan and join his old coach, Dusty May. He's a 15.6 rebound, 1.5 block a game kind of guy. We'll keep you updated on the basketball portal and the football portal. You have until tomorrow to get into the football portal. All that rolling on. More best and worst in the weekend coming up as well. Right now, the show being brought to you by Urology Centers of Alabama. As that CBS pregame show got older, they had to stay on top of their health. And they probably did that with a great place like Urology Centers of Alabama. 16 great locations around the great state of Alabama, from prostate health all the way down to kidney stones, they'll take care of that and everything in between. Urology Centers of Alabama, 205-930-0920, 930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. Again, make that appointment today and stay on top of your health. A little bit more on the NFL draft. The SEC had the most picks again. Save that Bud Elliott tweet, though, for me until the backside of this, Forrester. The SEC had 59 NFL picks. The Pac-12 second with 43. The Big Ten with 42. The ACC with 41. That's about as close as I can remember those top four being. The Big 12 had 31. But
the Pac-12 just going out.
It's so ironic, though. You play for the national championship.
The best year they had on the field in a very long time.
Ever.
And then in the draft, I mean, their final year was their best year.
But Bud Elliott takes what will be the Big Ten next year and what will be the SEC next year and what will be the ACC and the Big 12, the four bigs, and show you how this draft turns out. The Big Ten actually had 33 NFL draft picks. The SEC had 31. The ACC 15. Big 12 at 10, 3, 2, 2. I don't understand those numbers, though. How can the numbers go lower?
What do you mean?
From Bud Elliott. Well, I've got 59 on the SEC. The SEC didn't get smaller.
Was that maybe not a total? Was that like a running – that was sometime during the draft?
Maybe so.
Yeah, because the SEC is not losing teams.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I didn't understand the number. The Big Ten did well. I wonder how it ended up because that obviously is an in real-time number there.
90, 92, 90. There's only about 100 picks there.
Yeah.
That'd be like through the first 100 picks.
Find the final one from Bud Elliott there because the SEC, with the adding of the two teams, that number was gone. There was a moment, though, that I saw them trumpeting that the new Big Ten is ahead of the new SEC.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably through the top 100 picks. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah. So, that would show you of the top 100 picks, the top end talent, that, maybe it is a little more equal in the future.
But Texas had 11, so that's going to help the new SEC. But Washington had 10.
That's true.
That's going to help the new Big Ten.
Yeah.
So it's going to end up being really, really close. But the Pac-12, what a year to go out on. Really a good draft there.
Of course, as Daniel says, the SEC's adding two teams. The Big Ten's adding how many?
4.
Yeah. So they're doubling the number. And that's I mean, USC generally produces, like I saw a stat today, USC, I think it was from Brett McMurphy.
It was.
Did you have that one?
Yeah, I've got it for you here. We don't have it pulled up, but I have it for you. Brett McMurphy, teams with the most draft picks that finished the season unranked, number one was USC with 7.
I mean, it is hard to believe he finished unranked with
7 draft picks unranked.
I mean, can I call a timeout real quick? Well, no, because I know what the next one is. What's the next one?
Second on that list was Auburn and Utah.
Yeah.
Each with 5.
That's borderline coaching malpractice by you, boy, Lincoln Riley.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I mean, to have the overall number 1 and 7 total draft picks and finish unranked, that's hard to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, the bottom completely fell out in the second half.
But of these unranked teams, 4 or higher draft picks that ended up unranked. USC at 7, Auburn at 5, Utah at 5, Illinois at 4, Kentucky at 4, Miami at 4, South Carolina at 4, A&M is 4. What I'm telling you, USC 7 was in a very competitive Pac-12. Utah with 5, competitive Pac-12 quarterback injury, and then Auburn, Kentucky, South Carolina, A&M, all in the SEC.
Yeah.
Where if you've got 5 or 4 NFL draft picks, then you're behind Alabama, who's got 10, Georgia, who's got 9. I mean, that stacks up on you pretty quick.
Well, and especially, when you look at Auburn, the numbers behind the numbers, that's 5 draft picks, but they all came in, the last 3 rounds of the draft. So you don't have a whole lot of top 200 draft talent that you're putting out there.
Meanwhile, the first 2 days, Georgia and Alabama are
all
kicking
over
out.
the place. And LSU, to a certain extent, all over the place.
But, USC, middle of October, they were in the top 10.
I know. It's crazy how bad they finished with all that talent.
We'll look at the NFL draft and some amazing numbers on how it impacts the college football and maybe some direction programs are going. Congratulations to the Stallions. The Stallions are 5-0. They beat Houston over the weekend. They have not lost a game since May 13th of last year.
It was your lock to Furman. You said take Houston.
Oh, trust me. I
they
laid
got
it.
inside the number.
They did not.
That number was
What was the
9. It was
final?
like 23-7.
Yeah, they
or something.
dominated.
I thought it ended up
dominated.
being a 6-point game.
No.
They were -9. That solidified it. I was already leaning Birmingham.
So it was -9. What did it end up being?
It was like 23-7, wasn't it, or something like that?
Something.
Do you remember, Lance?
No, they cried. It was worse than that.
Oh, was it?
It was something to 9 at one point when I turned
I
it
think
off.
it was 23-9 was your final there.
I thought we fought back and got inside the number with the Roughnecks.
You did not.
Stallions are 5-0. They've won 12 games.
32-9.
32-9. At least you were close.
They've won 12 games in a row now.
That's crazy.
And they haven't lost since May 13th of last year. We're about to approach a calendar year since they've lost a game if they can get there.
Well, so Klatt and, Brock's doing sideline, Klatt's doing color. And they were talking about when the Roughnecks got down, I forgot it was in the first half, and they were like, boy, you have put yourself in a bad position because nobody talks about this Stallions defense, but it's the best defense in the league. And so they couldn't rave enough about the Stallions. And they're talking about the Stallions like it's a dynasty in the UFL now.
Well, it is. And, you wonder, we've talked about, will Skip Holtz maybe get another job because of this? Like, would the NFL look at him as an offensive coordinator? I wonder if John Chavis, if the UFL loses a head coach, I'd hire John Chavis.
To be a head coach?
I think I would. How good is that Stallions defense?
Yeah, but I don't think he's ever been a head coach.
Well, neither did Nick Saban at some point.
But why? Nick Saban's not.
I'm just saying, everybody's gotta get the first job.
Guess John Chavis is 68.
Well, yeah, but this is the UFL. I'm not saying college football. You ain't got to go recruit.
Oh, you would hire him in the UFL?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
if the UFL
as a head coach.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't
thought
hire
you
him
were talking
if
about NFL as a head
God,
coach.
no.
I was like, John Chavis, he never got a college job.
No. I'm sorry if I was misleading on that. No. I would hire him if I'm a UFL. I'd keep him in the UFL. I'd make him a head coach. He is 67.
Yeah. I sampled way too much UFL this weekend. I didn't know half the coaches.
I know John Chavis.
Defensive coordinator with the Stallions. Skip Holtz, the head coach there.
Tennessee guy. That's what I'm saying.
Top of the hour here. Stallions are 5-0. The show being brought to you by our friends at Gutter Cap. Tell us about Gutter Cap LT, and we'll get to the top of the hour.
Hey, right now, 45% off the retail price. Call 205-823-2212. Chris Stewart will come out and give you an absolutely free estimate. It's a dirty, dangerous job. You don't want to get on the roof, you slip and fall, you snap the neck and die. You're no good to the wife or kids. Gutter Cap's patent aluminum cover system. It will fit over most existing gutters, keeping all the debris out. Make the phone call today. Cap it, don't snap it. 205-823-2212 or guttercapbirmingham.com.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter @RockstarBHM.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
You never know what we're up to here at The Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow The Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunsford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, back with you on the Next Round, hour number 2. Before we tell you about A+, Brownie, and LT, and everybody who's used the great folks at A+, just to reset where we are in our top story today. The NFL draft ended with some great picks for some teams. We'll get to winners and losers a little bit later on. Everybody seems to be talking in this area, at least if you're an Alabama fan, about the basketball portal. LeBaron Philon, one-time Auburn and Kansas commitment, picked Alabama yesterday, and he is now part of the recruiting class. This isn't a portal guy. He got released from his letter of intent, and he's actually signing as a true freshman with Alabama. He is a point guard, a 4-star guy with On3 Sports. So if I remember correctly now, that in this recruiting class, and Little T has put together a graphic that she sent out from our social media package of where the Alabama roster is right now. But in this signing class, you got LeBaron Philon, who's a 4-star. You've got 5-star plus small forward Darian Reed. You got 4-star center Aiden Sherrill, and 4-star forward Nas Cunningham. And the returning guys right now, Mark Sears, declared for the NBA draft, but he has until May 29th to withdraw to maintain his eligibility. Wrightsell is back. Grant Nelson's expected to be back as well. Could get something, Brownie, on that today, maybe?
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe
the portal deadline is tomorrow, but as Matt Zenitz points out on Twitter, keep in mind schools have 48 hours to process it. So you'll see guys news that they're entering the portal all the way up through probably Thursday.
Jaron Stevenson back right now. Mo Diabate back. Aiden Holloway, Auburn transfer. Houston Mullet, the Pepperdine transfer. Chris Youngblood, the South Florida transfer. In that recruiting class that we're talking about, that's 12 spots. I'm told the 13th guy is going to be a big guy. And if you're paying attention to what's going on with that, Clifford Amori from Rutgers visiting last night. And Crystal Ball flipped earlier today as the show started on Kentucky big man, Yagana Onyenso. And Onyenso is right now Crystal Ball projected to Alabama. You could get 2 of those and then ask somebody else to leave or show them, hey, we're going to maybe rework the scholarships here or something. But I think 13 is the number you have on scholarships. So it's a very full roster. And my question to you guys becomes, how do you manage playing time? Because all of those guys, if you're not the newcomer blue blood 4- and 5-star recruits, have had a lot of playing time at their other places.
I mean, all these kids have egos, and they all believe they're going to be the best and they're going to play. But, I mean, that's nearly impossible unless, Nate is – I don't know. How deep was Alabama last year?
Not as deep as he wanted. He wanted more big men. Didn't want to have to play Grant Nelson at a 5.
But if you find a way to get everybody 20+ minutes, I mean, it's nearly impossible.
Yeah, it's hard to do 13 that way.
I wonder if do you convince Sears and Nelson? I'm not going to play your guys' legs off. I want you ready for the NBA. I mean, is Sears going to buy that?
I mean, there were some games Sears played 38, 39 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Nate, you've got to use those guys as much as possible.
I know. But also, here's the flip side of that. Think about this for a moment. Now, I know this has drawbacks too, so don't think I'm saying this is absolutely the mindset people will have. But if you got guys that are upset about playing time, look how many outside guys you've brought in on this roster this year.
Yeah.
So if I bring some of these guys in, they don't like their playing time and they bolt, I can hit the portal again. I mean, I'm probably going to have to do that every year anyway. I can bring in another Chris Youngblood. I can bring in another Houston Mallet. I can bring in, another Aiden Holloway. I can bring in another whoever. I mean, that's the other side of this is if guys don't like their playing time and they're one and done in Tuscaloosa, you can portal another guy in there. Now, that may catch up with you at some point if everybody keeps leaving upset.
Luke says 15 to 20 minutes at Alabama is different than most places because of the pace of play. Mark was out there a lot, and the team wasn't as deep as they wanted to be on their Final Four run, but managing playing time. Instantly, everybody, when LeBaron made his commitment yesterday, they were like, I wonder what Aiden Holloway is thinking. But Aiden Holloway said when one interview we've seen since he got to Tuscaloosa that he was not promised any playing time, wasn't promised anything, has to go earn everything. I just do wonder what he's thinking about as another big time. I mean, LeBaron Philon is a bigger version of what Aiden Holloway was when he came out to go to Auburn. He's a fast, good point guard that can distribute the basketball.
Do wonder if Nate makes those calls like somebody's just unloading furniture, and you're like, "Hey,
whoa, don't back that.
We wanted you, but it's, like I read this morning, we were in the office earlier, and I was telling Will T that Royal Caribbean, they had passengers on the boat, and they told them to get off because the cruise had been canceled.
Well, wait a minute. So we're already on the boat?
The boat. Yeah.
And
pastors? Passengers.
Passengers.
I thought you said pastors. I was like,
there might have been a pastor on there. I don't know. There's a lot of passengers.
So passengers have already loaded the boat, and they're like, hey, we got some bad news for you guys. This cruise is canceled.
Yep.
I've heard of that with planes, but a cruise feels totally different.
Why was it canceled?
If you give me 1 second.
Let me tell you about A+. I want to hear the rest of it. Here, I'll tell them about A+. I want to hear the rest of this. Gather your thoughts.
Yeah. Daniel says he heard pastors too. I was like, they were asking these pastors, there was going to be debauchery on this boat.
We not have any religious
We do not want the pastors here.
Hey, Brad Bell is my man, A+ Tile Home Remodeling. He's done work at my house. He's about to do some more there. He's done work in Lance's house. He's about to do some more there. Here's what he specializes in. Master bathroom, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. Master bathroom, kitchen, master bedroom closets. You're going to see video out of all of that. Scott is showing you. And that's not all he does, but that's where you're going to enjoy it the most. You're going to get your money back when you go to sell it. And it's just what is in demand right now. Unfortunately, that's what he specializes in. My wife, when it came time to redo our master bathroom, she scoured the internet. She talked to contractors, people that use contractors, read reviews, all of that. And Brad Bell was the guy she picked. I am so glad she did because his work was terrific. His crews were on time. They were clean. They worked hard. At the end of every day, they walked us through everything they had done. It was a tremendous experience. Here is his number, 205-422-1758. That is 205-422-1758. Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling.
This sounds like a trash story.
Well, we can save it for trash.
No, go ahead.
It just Royal Caribbean International canceling the current cruise of the Radiance of the Seas. Despite having passengers embarking the ship for a shortened sailing, the company announced this past Saturday the cruise is no longer going ahead. They said, despite our best efforts, circumstances beyond our control have added delayed to sailing further. As a result, we have to cancel our cruise, facing a technical issue since its previous cruise.
Now, I had rather that happen in port than out in sea.
Passengers had to disembark the ship on April 28th, though, and they got 100% refund, but a lot of pain in the ass.
But, I mean, here's the thing. Like, when my flight gets canceled, there's another plane I can get on, in theory.
With the delay, but yeah.
Yeah, but when my cruise gets canceled.
Yeah. But you get 100%. They probably give you a little extra, but it is a pain in the butt there. All right, to the NFL draft. Just from a college football perspective, some numbers from a variety of different sources, including The Athletic this morning. Jimbo Fisher's time at Texas A&M ends, and it ends between 2019 and 2024 with one NFL first-round draft pick.
It's amazing with that type of recruiting that he did. Now, I'm not even talking about the class they bought and paid for. Jimbo's recruiting was always pretty good.
Yeah, some of those guys like Evan Stewart.
Yeah, they're elsewhere.
From somewhere else.
Will maybe be a first round.
End up being a first-round draft pick, but it won't be under Jimbo's watch.
Yeah, and I mean when you're coaching, and I'm sure I'll say the same thing about Florida in a moment. But when you've got a major program in a state that produces the talent like the state of Texas does, to only have one first-round draft pick in your entire coaching career for Jimbo Fisher at A&M, that's insane.
Who was the guy?
I don't have that written down.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
Was Pearsall the only Florida pick?
Yeah, I think so. I think he was the one Florida pick.
One Florida pick.
Take what I just said about that and say the same thing about Florida.
First rounder, though.
First rounder.
But one Florida pick in 2024 is the fewest Florida's had since 1980.
Well, that's before they were any good.
That was before they
got good.
Yeah, before Spurrier, and then before the 80s where they had some NCAA issues where they...
Yeah, when did Galen Hall take over?
That was 81-ish.
He took over after the guy from Jack State really got him going. Charlie Pell got him going.
Yeah.
And then Galen started winning with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michigan had 13, Texas had 11, Alabama 10 in that order. What is crazy is this streak, and that it's not more consistent for the powers. Michigan and USC have had at least one draft pick in the NFL draft now for 86 consecutive years, since 1939.
Wow. Incredible. Are you serious?
Michigan and USC have had at least one draft pick every year since 1939. Florida is next on the list, so third after the tie for first. They've had a draft pick every year since 1952. So we were Ricky Pearsall away from Florida not having a draft pick for the first time since 1952.
God, that's inexcusable.
Miami is next, 1975. People forget there was a brief moment in the 70s that Miami was pretty good, and then they circled back around and got really good in the 80s and after that. But 1975. After that, it's Notre Dame and Iowa, 1972, and Wisconsin, 1979. On the consecutive streaks there. 1978 for Notre Dame and Iowa, 1979 for Wisconsin.
A little surprised in Wisconsin. I didn't realize they had that good a streak.
I would only imagine offensive lineman, Brown.
I mean, yeah. Russell Wilson, I guess, counts as a Wisconsin draft pick, right, Lance? That's where he finished his career.
He does. But that's at least one draft pick. For a long time they went over many, many rounds.
Yeah.
But that's the longest streak of having at least one draft pick. Those are crazy numbers.
Yeah. Always
crazy
a running
numbers.
back out of Wisconsin.
I'm going to get LT to tell us right now about Lake Fest. And then Brett McMurphy's most interesting tweet to me. In college football, we always sort of, we looked at the negative on USC having seven draft picks and being unranked. The teams that were ranked with the fewest number of draft picks, well, we sort of, I think in this case, have to applaud what the coaches did. Yeah. We'll do that after LT tells us about Lake Fest.
Yeah, Lake Fest coming up May 10th through the 12th. Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AM First right there on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. Free admission for the public. It's Bama's biggest in-water boat show. Over 100 boats and vehicles on display. Vendors, food trucks, live music all weekend, including that free Velcro Pygmies concert on Saturday night. Fireworks show on Friday night. It's Mother's Day weekend. They're going to have mimosas, free mimosas for mom. For more information, LoganMartinLakeFest.com. That's LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Looking at this, there is only one of these that plays in a Power 2 conference, Big Ten or SEC. Brett McMurphy with the fewest number of draft picks that finished ranked this last football season. The only one that plays in a Power 2 Big Ten or SEC conference was Tennessee, ranked 17th. They only had 3 draft picks. So good job, Josh Heupel, right?
And you got one of those guys in Jalen Wright.
I did. Josh Heupel had a good year.
Yeah.
But yeah, where are we on Heupel? Heupel last year was good. The year before was great. Are you going to get more of 2022? You're going to get more of 2023. I believe it's going to be more of 2023.
Yeah. I think Josh, I don't know what letter grade you'd give Josh Heupel right now based on what you just said right there.
I'd give him a B just based on where Tennessee was. He's been better than Butch. It's been way better than Jeremy Pruitt.
Yeah, probably a B for Josh Heupel. So I guess based on that number.
Oklahoma's on their way to the SEC. They finished 15th, and they had only three draft picks.
And Brent Venables, year one, not great.
Year two, really good.
Year two, really good. So I guess applaud Brent Venables now. Did you see Saban applauding that one time?
Yeah,
that was kind of weird.
That was on the Jermaine Burke.
Yeah. It's very, very.
That was very
clap.
Feinbaum.
Very Feinbaum golf clap. Yes.
Kansas State and Arizona each had 3 and finished the year ranked.
Now,
you love climate. Arizona's coach is now at Washington.
Yeah, Kansas State's just like a consistent. Like it feels like Kansas State falls out of bed challenging for 10 wins. It's like they're a consistent 9-win team.
It's really amazing when you think about it.
It is.
Kansas only had 2 draft picks, and NC State only had 2 draft picks. They both finished ranked 23rd and 21. 3 teams finished ranked with 0 NFL draft picks. One of them was Liberty.
Okay.
Finished 25th.
Yep.
One of them was SMU on their way to the ACC, 22, ranked 0 draft picks.
I read actually.
And then one guy that I think gets mixed reviews on this set.
I'll go Oak State.
It is Oklahoma State, 0. Mike Gundy gets mixed reviews. Sometimes we seem to like him. Sometimes we seem to not like him.
Big 12, pretty good conference last year. He won 10 games and didn't have anybody go in the NFL draft. I don't know if that's good or bad. Like, you want to win 10 games, you want to get guys drafted.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm like, where's your recruiting if you're not getting guys in the NFL draft? Like, imagine if you had – all right, so he's 10-2. Here's what I would say. He's 10-2. Imagine if you had 5 draft picks. You think he'd be better than 10-2?
Yeah. I don't think he loses to South Alabama.
Probably not. They got drilled by South Alabama, too.
Pretty interesting number there for Gundy. Is that fair, though, that we sort of give mixed reviews to him?
I'm up and down on Gundy. Yeah.
I like he's a strange guy, but I think he can coach. That's a difficult job.
Only 2 teams after this NFL draft that does not have an Alabama player on that roster right now. It was Tampa Bay was the third one, but Chris Braswell goes to Tampa Bay. So now there are 2 teams left without Alabama players on the roster.
I don't know.
Both last names starts with a B. It's the Bears and the Bills right now with nobody on the
Bills had Levi Wallace, but he just left. He just left them. So
way back in the day, they had punter Chris Moore.
They did.
Bears had Chris Magnum.
The Bears did. Used to have Johnny Musso for a while, but last I checked, those are the 2, Bears and Bills.
Yeah.
That from the NFL draft this weekend. More best and worst of the weekend brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Brown. Give us some of those. LT's got 4 downs coming up. Who was talking best and worst of the weekend earlier?
We had a lot of people. Can I give you my worst real quick, though?
Oh, yeah.
Before we get to the people's best and worst while I pull those up.
If it's a lengthy story, we can do the best and worst on the other side of the break.
The soccer story was lengthy.
That's different opinions.
Yes, yeah.
It's always interesting. Time doesn't matter if it's interesting.
Sure. By the way, you should have seen the head coach. I told you guys at the break. I walked up to the head coach for the game. I was like, hey, how many kids are we supposed to have on the field? And he looked at me like I was a complete idiot.
Was that off the break? I was that on the air.
No, it was during the break. I was like, hey, how many kids are we supposed to have on the field? Hey, my worst of the weekend is this whole Spencer Rattler deal. Like, the reports from Ian Rappaport that teams are passing on him because of a reality show he did in high school is absolutely ridiculous.
How about what
really?
was it?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know.
And it was the one that it wasn't like done by just a high school group. It was a really
I think it was the Elite 11 camp, wasn't it?
Something. It was something. It was a legit. It was on Netflix.
And
where was the controversy?
Yeah,
he looked very immature. He was snapping at teammates. He was blaming others. I mean, it was not great video from him. I'm not going to say it's great video from him.
But he's 17.
But if you followed any of us around at 17 with a camera and showed our worst moments,
oh my God,
we'd look like idiots too.
In our 50s.
Yeah. And if that was legitimately reasons teams passed on him, as Ian Rappaport reported on the NFL Network, that's ridiculous.
I think more
Ian,
so.
I think Ian also said, I don't know if this is why they're passing, but the number of teams that have brought this up to me, I think is the way Ian said.
That is the way he said.
Well, look, he has a good landing spot with the Saints. I think he was just too inconsistent. Like Spencer Rattler, when he's really good, really good. When he's really bad, he's really bad. So I don't know what kind of Spencer Rattler you're going to get at the next level. I think it is a good spot for him to go, learn a little bit behind Derek Carr. Maybe in the next couple of years, he's their starting quarterback.
I would say this about Spencer Rattler. I thought he did better at South Carolina when he had less talent around him than when he was at Oklahoma. when he had a lot of pressure on him.
Maybe so. I think that was part of just the maturing process and all that. Now, he had a really good receiver that went to the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah,
too.
Leggett.
Yeah.
I did see one of the best tweets over the weekend was a picture of Spencer Rattler, and it said, Spencer Rattler looks like the guy that is playing Patrick Mahomes in a really bad movie about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Because he does, doesn't he?
He does. He does. Yeah. All right. So there you go. That's Brown's worst of the weekend. We'll get more best and worst of the weekend. LT's got 4 downs and a lot more as we continue on here. The show that's brought to you by our friends at Odie's. Odie's getting you ready for another great weekend of trivia on Wednesday and music on the upcoming weekend.
Yeah, we do the trivia every Wednesday night. The original location in Crestline, the newest location right there in Edgewood, the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway and Homewood. You're going to absolutely love the food from Rodney Davis. He's been doing it for more than 33 years. Award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches, including the Diablo sandwich, ice-cold beer buckets full of Bud Lights. Stop in one of those 2 locations today. Go see Will Haber and that great staff. It's Odie's Tavern.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst is back May 12th through 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It is Bama's biggest in-water boat show with more than 100 boats and vehicles on display, vendors and food trucks, live music all weekend long, and it is free public admission. Don't forget the Friday night fireworks show, free Velcro Pygmies concert Saturday, free mimosas for Mama Mother's Day Sunday. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. It's the annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst May 12th through 14th. LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Birmingham's favorite lawn party returns to Greystone for the Regions Tradition May 8th through 12th. Watch the legends of the game at Greystone and check out the Celebrity Pro-Am featuring Charles Barkley, Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer, Hugh Freeze, and country superstar Riley Green. Enjoy the fun in the sun at the White Claw Watering Hole and Casamigos Club. And don't miss the food trucks and the Friday concert featuring the Black Jacket Symphony. The Regions Tradition. Buy your tickets today.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelSonLaserVision.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Visit nextroundlive.com today. It's free, unless you haven't paid your internet bill. So go ahead and pay that, and then it's free. Heck, you can pull out your phone and go to nextroundlive.com right now, where you'll find all the free content that you can stomach. Unless you haven't paid your phone bill, then you need to pay that, and then you can enjoy all the free content. Nextroundlive.com is so rewarding that it should be behind a paywall, like Lance's Lock. So in summary, play Lance's Lock. Then you'll have enough money to pay your bills, and go to nextroundlive.com, where you're always at your happiest, for free.
You made me that dad. Did you get me banned from the soccer games with your wife?
Maggie says it's okay with a small tithe from you that everything will be forgiven.
It's all about the money. I swear I'm not taking divots. I'm just chipping. If somebody's out there like hitting full shots, taking divots.
Pitch shots are different than chipping.
No, this is just like chipping like around the green where you wouldn't take a divot. Now I'll brush the grass a little bit.
Do you bring the? Do they still use the
little wiffle balls?
Yeah.
No, these are real balls, real golf balls. Yeah. I'm just chipping.
He's got plenty to
Nothing
work with.
that puts the kids in danger. I thought Dunaway was going to make me that little league dad that had to watch from the outfield because he got banned.
Well, I mean, I mean, I picture you lean back in a chair, your shorts pulled up as high into your crotch as they can go.
That's accurate.
Yeah, barefoot and while eating a chicken sandwich.
That is all true.
By far the most
do you have your sleeves
disconnected person out there, right?
Do you have your sleeves up like this?
No,
too?
I might not all the way up on the shoulders. I might pull them up a little bit. I just don't. I mean, I'm not going to be able to help. I don't know anything about soccer, so she's getting good coaching, and I'll watch her play.
Is there a future? Is she in the next Mia Hamm?
She says she likes soccer, so maybe so. I don't know. I need to get little T to work with her, best AV all-time leading scorer.
Yeah.
I just don't, I don't know what she wants to do. She's about to be a black belt in Taekwondo. She might want to consider Taekwondo.
Yeah, as a profession?
Well, I don't know about a profession, but some of the students instruct, so she may want to do that. I don't know. I'll let her.
Do you think you know more about the Taekwondo than you do the soccer?
100%.
Oh, wow.
100%.
Yeah, that's really
Speaking
good.
of soccer, though, if you guys haven't seen the documentary Beckham.
Is it a documentary?
It's fantastic. 3-part series on Netflix.
Netflix, okay. Always give us a streaming service for that. So on Netflix. How new is it?
It's this year. I mean, so it was kind of the series. I think it's in line with like Stallone's, which was good. Arnold's was great. Beckham's might be right there with Arnold. I mean, those are really, really good 3-part documentary series. Have you seen any of them, Rocky?
I have not. Tim has talked a little bit about the meltdown with that you can understand. I don't have a love for Posh Spice. She seems like she's very bitchy to me, but Laurel says she kind of makes up for it. Like she has a good sense of humor.
Yeah, she's got I mean, and you talk about a couple that's truly in love with all the fanfare and stuff. It's really a cool story.
I was gonna watch the show that I'd put in the queue on Amazon Prime, and watch the first episode, and then went to watch the second episode with Jeff Daniels,
American
Rust. And then I've got to purchase the rest of it.
Oh, no. So you got the first one free?
Yeah,
reeled you right in.
The first one
did
for
you like
free.
it enough to purchase it, you think?
No, I did. I liked it, but I did not pull the trigger and purchase it at that moment because I was a little pissed off because we're at a certain level of Amazon Prime.
Like how much more can we spend?
That's right. Yeah. But certain ones I can watch everything, but certain ones I'm at a certain level that
call them and say, "Do you know how much stuff you deliver to my house? And you expect me to pay this?"
3 different times the other day.
I know.
My daughter bought my wife a Mother's Day present that came.
Yeah.
And then my daughter bought something else for herself that came. And then my wife had bought something for herself that came at 3 different deliveries all in one day, and I've got to pay for episode 2 of American Rust.
What do you think about when me and Lugerbill have disagreed a lot on different things.
Really?
But I thought about American Rust when I saw the trailer, and then the reviews are awful. Like they say it's one of the worst shows out there.
I'm glad you said that because it was sort of mediocre the first episode, and I was like, well, I mean, if Luganville and Lance loves it, I got to give it a shot.
No, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Yeah. There's a new Jeff Daniels. I think he's an Atlanta businessman, and he's getting off his private jet. It shows up because I watched that on Amazon Prime. It is now queued for it's showing when I go to Netflix. It is popping up now as, do you want to watch this? And it's him getting off a jet plane, and the feds are there, and they freeze all his money. And it's a big business guy, Southern business guy.
Do you guys like Westerns?
Yeah, the movies. Yeah,
when there's
not as much as Wimp, but yeah.
Well, no, there's a standalone season. It's called Godless. It was a Netflix original. It's like probably 6-7 years old, but Jeff Daniels is in it. He's the bad guy, kind of the lead, but it's fantastic. You guys really like that.
I like Westerns. Yeah,
I love him as an actor. Okay, before LT tells us about, actually, I'm going to tell you about Storm Restoration Roofing, but a couple of reworked plans for future stars, maybe. Damian Martinez, the running back from Oregon State, ends up at Miami. They also pick up wide receiver Sam Brown. This Miami team.
Oh, you know who's big on them already?
Yeah. This Miami team could be the team to beat the ACC.
The man between us is basically throwing up the U all off season.
Well, this is year 3, and I do think I thought Tyler Van Dyke was going to be really good last year, and you saw how that went. I do think Cam Ward is a very dynamic quarterback. Mario Cristobal's done a good job of bringing the talent in. He's got a really good NIL, but they've got to make this equate to wins.
Yeah. Have you looked at their schedule enough to know, Lance?
Yeah. Sam Brown, by the way, is supposedly the best wide receiver that was in the portal.
Right.
And Damian Martinez, we know, with his 1,000-yard rushing years at Oregon State.
They get Florida week 1. I mean, that feels like a massive game for both those coaches, doesn't it?
Where is that game?
That is in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. That's a tough road trip for Miami.
Yeah. Well, one thing we learned is Napier did not lose a lot to the NFL draft.
That's true. He's got most of his roster back. I mean, Florida a skinny favorite in that game, you think, over Miami?
Is that the
at
worst
home?
dye job? Is that intentional of this lady over here or what? I guess that's intentional.
Oh, it's like she had a ski mask on and laid out in the sun. Above her lip, though.
No, he's talking about the hair dye. Like
I mean,
the
it's
roots
black in the part, black around the edges, and then I guess it's, what's it called?
Those
ombre,
are all roots.
ombre everywhere else.
Yeah,
ombre.
Yeah, she's all thrown off. Jody Jackson, if you're wondering. She joins High Heat right now on the Major League Baseball Network.
She's D-backs.
And her hair is high and outside right now.
Wow. Florida at home against Miami is, I go back to the question.
Yeah, I
before
think
we got
Miami.
derailed.
I think Florida's like a 1-point favorite.
So
Close
that's
to
a
a pick.
toss-up
Yeah.
game, and I'm not saying loser leaves town, Dunaway, but don't you feel like that's a huge game for both those coaches?
They do. Week 1 right out of the gate like that.
Yeah, but boy, I tell you what, after that is not a challenging schedule.
Rattlers, Ball State, South Florida, Virginia Tech, Cal, Louisville, Florida State, Duke, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, Syracuse.
A manageable schedule right there. If they get past Florida.
They've got 2 losable games.
If they get past Florida and they host Florida State.
3 possibly losable games.
Yeah, Lance,
Florida, Louisville, and Florida State.
Lance, you're going to end up selling me. I mean, that is not a tough schedule at all.
They're unbeaten. They're unbeaten going to the ACC championship
let's tap the
game.
brakes there, Jimmy D, but that is not a challenging schedule.
They don't have Notre Dame, part of the ACC agreement. They don't have Clemson.
We're going to see how good of a coach Mike Norvell is because Florida State lost a ton.
They did.
And guys were getting drafted left and right. So who is the favorite in the ACC this year?
It's Miami with that schedule, LT.
You want me to tell you a game that really worries me, though? Is that Saturday, October 5th trip to Cal. That's just a weird game. I could see that being like an 8 o'clock Pacific or an 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Eastern time game.
Yeah.
That's just a weird road trip for them, and it's right before a bye coming off a game against Virginia Tech. And I don't know if Cal's going to be any good or not, but, I mean, that is just a weird road game for Miami to have to go play. That'd be just like them to have a good team and lose to somebody like Cal on the road.
12-0 Miami. If I said right now, Brownie, honest to goodness, 10-2, higher or lower than 10 or 2. You can't take
10 2 is the number. I would go lower than higher.
You would go lower than 10 and 2.
I would, yeah. I don't have a ton of faith in Mario.
Andy
Cristobal.
says Mississippi State would be undefeated with that schedule. Probably so. Could be.
I think Miami's better than Mississippi State.
I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying they don't play Miami. With that schedule, Mississippi State would be better.
No, but Miami's a better team. I don't know if State will win at Florida. I don't know if.
Yeah, I think Miami's probably. I mean, they're probably 10-2. I'll go 11-1 though.
Yeah.
So you would take the over 10-2?
Yeah.
I think I would too. And that's just giving Florida State the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, their road games are Florida, USF, Cal, Louisville, Georgia Tech, and Syracuse. I mean, that's not exactly a back-breaking road schedule.
Florida, South Florida, and Louisville will be tricky.
Sadly,
South Florida's going to be improved.
Yeah.
Sadly, Nick Saban on October 26th likely is going to be in Coral Gables.
There's got to be something better than
for
that.
a game day Florida State Miami.
There's got to be something better than that. October 26th, you think Nick Saban?
Well, I'm just saying it's going to be unbeaten Miami.
No.
At worst, 1-loss Florida State. Playing on October 26th, a chance for them to do a rare show from the U lately.
Yeah, boy, they're dying to do those, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's got Notre Dame's got Navy, Michigan State, Illinois, Oregon, Nebraska, Ohio State that week. Penn State's at Wisconsin.
Nebraska, Ohio State could be juicy.
Could be. LSU's at Texas A&M. Oklahoma's at Ole Miss. Auburn's at Kentucky. Sneaky game. Could be a sneaky good game that week. They will have already made a visit to this school earlier, just a few weeks before, but Missouri's at Alabama that week.
Ooh, could be sneaky.
Yeah,
good.
if Missouri is any good at all. But I tell you what, Jimmy, once you get past those games that I just gave you, you may have it. They may be at Coral Gables.
Yeah. Will there be a Dolphins fan? Patrick wants to know. Shows up negative Nick Saban sign.
Oh, I'm sure there will be
about the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
Winners and losers of the NFL draft. More best and worst of the weekend. Right after I mentioned Storm Restoration Roofing here. It's Greg from Pell City, Storm Restoration Roofing. Greg Nelson, Greg from Pell City, just the kind of guy you want taking care of your home, one of the most important possessions you have. He'll jump on that roof for a free, no-cost roof inspection, by calling this number, 205-542-3531. All you have to do is say, hey, I heard about it from Dunaway on the next round. and he'll give you a free no-cost roof inspection. 205-542-3531. A number of our viewers will tell you that Greg works for you against the insurance companies or with the insurance companies. However the insurance companies want to handle it. He can play nice. He can play mean. Either way, Greg will take care of you. He's A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, locally owned. He and his wife run the company. The crews are local. He's local. Just a great guy to deal with. Check him out on Facebook, Greg from Pell City, or Storm Restoration Roofing, 542-3531 for anything you need to do with your roof. Have someone you trust up there. All right. As we continue on, some more best and worst of the weekend. But there were winners and losers of the NFL draft. While you queue up some more best and worst of the weekend, Brownie, I will tell you who The Athletic thinks were winners and losers. The losers, there were 4 teams The Athletic pegged as losers. The Atlanta Falcons.
I was thinking about this today. I don't know if they live this down for like the next 5 or 6 years, unless Michael Penix is a starting quarterback in 2 years, and he's playing well.
What if this happens? Cousins is good the first year, they go to the playoffs. Win the division, go to the playoffs. Cousins good the second year, and maybe they win a Super Bowl or go to a Super Bowl.
Then you trade Penix?
And then Cousins retires. He goes out on top. And then Penix takes over in year 3. Then the plan worked perfect.
If that happens, boy, you're asking the Falcons to do a lot. If that happens, I guess it has worked out perfectly.
You guys remember when I had a weird vision and I thought Alabama and Arkansas were going to play for the national championship?
I do remember. That's been a long time
2011.
ago. Yeah.
No, football 2011.
Yeah. That was close.
Yeah, I mean, they were top 3 going in the final week of the season. I had a weird vision. I hate to say this out loud. I don't want to speak it into existence.
But did the Falcons do something special?
I think Kirk Cousins gets hurt, and I think Michael Penix comes in and plays well.
Did you have that vision?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey. Then they're going to look like a gem. Dallas got
That's really
labeled.
the only thing that salvages it, though.
Dallas got labeled as a loser.
Yeah, Dallas, they're signing Zeke Elliott today.
Getting him back.
And I think it was Mike Tannenbaum that was talking about it on Get Up this morning. You had Will Shipley drafted out of Clemson from the Eagles in like the 3rd or 4th round, and he was like, Will Shipley would be their number 1 back, and I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, Dallas is they haven't done anything in the offseason. They haven't gotten any better. And, didn't have a great draft.
Las Vegas was labeled as a loser.
Oh, they got Brock Bowers, Jim.
Well, so Antonio Pierce wanted a quarterback, and he believed after the top 4 were gone, he wanted to go best player available, and it was just a tricky spot for them.
They're loaded at tight end, though.
Yeah, they are.
And Miami was labeled as a loser.
Miami had to do a lot of line. Lance, among others, thinks Chop Robinson was a first-round stretch.
Great measurables, but not the production. It just didn't equate.
Yep. And one thing is fast, and that is one thing that, and I know primarily at the skill positions like receiver and back is where they trend towards going with fast guys. But I don't think that is only limited to those positions. They like speed.
Don't you
on
wish
that
you
team.
could almost say, hey, look, you don't have a contract. We got insurance, your benefits, but you're going to get $1 million every sack. Just see how hungry that guy is.
Yeah, I'd love it if they did that.
Like there's no ceiling. Like if you have 35 sacks, we'll give you $35
million. Yeah.
They just said you didn't do anything in the draft to close the gap on the Buffalo Bills.
Well, some would argue the Bills have lost Stephon Diggs, and they've closed the gap themselves. Yeah.
Right. I think that they're talking about the New York Giants. I think the Giants not trading up. Malik Neighbors, I love him, but you didn't draft an offensive lineman, and their offensive line was the worst in football last year.
Yeah. I had 2 or 3 folks who were out at Ballantrae when Tua was there the other day.
Yeah.
And just raved about how nice that Tua was.
Yeah, only about 50 people out there have told me he was out there and I should have been there, and I wasn't. Yeah. But everybody I've heard out there was like the whole family was fantastic. Yeah. They just had a group out there, little family outing, and everybody was terrific. And Tua took as much time as anybody asked him to take to make photos and sign autographs and all that. Yeah.
The takeaway from 2 guys who were there playing when they were there was could not have been nicer, more humble guy than they've ever met or seen interacting with other people. And that was shorter than expected, but from the waist down,
I've always said
thicker and
this.
stronger than anybody of his height they've ever seen.
I've always said it. Tua is thicker than people think. He's
Yeah.
a bigger guy than people think. He's not the tallest guy in the world for a quarterback. He's got NFL height, though. I mean, he's tall enough for the NFL. He's thicker than people think. If you've ever stood next to him.
They were talking about his thighs and legs and the hip, that area there, just how thick he was and muscular.
When people talk about his fragility, it's not because he's frail. I mean, it's just he's injury prone, but it's not because he's frail,
It's
like
neck up.
Jaden Daniels or Bryce Young or somebody like that.
Yeah. By the way, we talked about it loosely on Friday, the Guardian cap. Will Tua be one of those people that wears that, you think? It's supposed to decrease the head contact by 10%.
It looks goofy, but if I'm Tua, I'm wearing it.
Yeah, but everybody kind of scoffed at the Taekwondo training he did in the offseason, or the martial arts training. I'm not certain it was Taekwondo. I think it might have been jiu-jitsu, actually.
To learn how to fall?
To learn how to fall. You actually, and listen, I watched every snap he played, you noticed it this year. You noticed him falling differently. And I mean, people scoffed at it. He made 17 starts, 18, counting the playoff game.
And led the team in league
in passing yardage. And, making those starts is something that he had never done. So I don't know if that was just coincidental or if that actually helped. But I'm like Lance. I would take every measurement possible, every measure possible to stay healthy. And if you think that helps, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Little history on helmets, and this is the Guardian helmet right here. They're going to permit you to wear that. It'll be interesting to see if they logo it up somehow, paint it somehow or something.
Yeah, I think they'll figure it's going to look blotchy.
But it's got to look like the other team's helmet.
Yeah. You think it's got to?
It's got to look like your team's helmet. I think it'd have to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They'll figure it out.
I don't know if you can do it or not, but
think about if you had you had a receiver and a defender wearing that helmet, and they're going across the middle. I mean, that's.
I think the Browns will figure it out.
Yeah, I've seen the story. I've seen the story before that some guy, I think with Rydell, had the helmet because it wasn't so much about concussions back in the day, but using the helmet as a weapon, a hard outer shell, and they presented it to the NFL in the 60s, where it was obviously your protection inside a thin shell, or not a thin, but the normal shell, and then padding on the outside, and the NFL rejected it. Why? Because of the way it looked on television. It was dull, not as glossy, and
it's going to look weird. There's no doubt.
And it didn't pop. It didn't have the shine like you see the Notre Dame helmets in college or the NFL helmets on a Sunday.
Like Friday, we were talking in the extra show out at Barber's Motorsports Park about the Buffalo Bill that used to wear, and I think it was Don Beebe, if I remember right.
The extra.
The extra.
I thought it was Steve Tasker.
It could have been Steve Tasker, but it was one of those two who wore that double helmet, and it always looked weird.
Yeah. So why can't we just do that, though? Why can't we put a hard outer shell on that extra cushioning there?
I would assume this is just better technology and probably more cost effective.
Yeah, but just that little shell so I can still, like you said, for just throwing downfield so it's not too white.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand that one's going to be black and one's white or one's red, whatever, but with the logo on it. I mean, it was weird for BB or Tasker, but I got used to it.
I did too. It almost made him stand out.
It might be BB. I'm seeing Steve Tasker. I'm not seeing any images.
This is Tasker right here.
Oh, is that him? Is that Steve Tasker? BB was in the 80s. Wore number 80s. That was just such a weird look, but you're right. It's no stranger than that soft outer shell.
You know what that looks like? It looks like the NFL meme now where you have the small little guy running around out there with a big helmet on.
You want an interesting factoid about Steve Tasker? One of the greatest special teams players of all time.
Right.
Was thrown out of his final game.
Was he really?
Yeah, I was watching. They were playing Green Bay.
Well, it's hard to get thrown out of an
They were
NFL
making
game.
a big deal. This is Tasker after this illustrious career. It's his last game, and like 3 plays later, he got run.
Oh, that is horrible. All right, when we come back, we continue the conversation. Dan Orlovsky scheduled to be with us at some point before the end of the show. We roll on. Precision Sports helping you roll on, get back into the game. I tell you what, they've helped me tremendously with some lower back to leg pain. I've gone now a long time without any pain in that leg thanks to Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. They can help you get back in the game as well. 205-512-3885. 512-3885. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024. Orthopedic care is better together, right? Orthopedic care better together. They can get you on a plan. They get you on a regimen, and they can help you get back to work, get back to play, or get back to just enjoying time with the kids. Whether it's on the 9-foot goal in the yard or pickleball, Precision Sports Medicine or Orthopedics, precisionsportsortho.com/2024.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Birmingham's favorite lawn party returns to Greystone for the region's tradition May 8th through 12th. Watch the legends of the game at Greystone and check out the Celebrity Pro-Am featuring Charles Barkley, Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer, Hugh Freeze, and country superstar Riley Green. Enjoy the fun in the sun at the White Claw Watering Hole and Casamigos Club. And don't miss the food trucks and the Friday concert featuring the Black Jacket Symphony. The region's tradition. Buy your tickets today.
Hey, you. Days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Back with you on the next round. R.J. Davis, by the way, returning to North Carolina. Hunter Dickerson returning to Kansas. If you're keeping an eye on the basketball, the stuff that's going on. Candace Parker retired. 16 years in the WNBA. Really fantastic as a studio analyst, by the way. She does it for the NCAA tournament and the NBA. She's really good at that. Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry won the PGA event down at the Zurich in New Orleans. And then, as they have a few cocktails, they make it to the 19th hole. Rockstar cut number 3, if you will.
A couple of Irish guys drinking.
A couple of Irish guys in New Orleans after winning a golf tournament. You know, Brownie, they're gonna crank it up a little bit. Here is Rory, and he's singing a little Journey. This is courtesy of our buddy Fletcher Mackel of WDSU. Hit it, Fletcher. What a crowd. 19th hole.
Just a small town girl, living in a lonely world. Took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. Took the midnight
That's Molly Ringwald's, man.
Is that who that is?
Yeah, it is.
I was about to say I'm fascinated by this band.
Oh, the Molly Ringwalds all the time here locally.
Yeah, they're very entertaining. They can't sing, but very entertaining.
Rory.
I can't tell if he's good or not.
Yeah.
No. Is he not right now?
He's into it. That's all that matters, Brown.
Huh?
And the crowd's singing along with you.
The crowd's doing most of the heavy lifting here.
Very good.
I'm surprised they got that going on. I'm not. It's probably alcohol and crawfish.
Freddie Mercury back from the grave.
I mean, that's the first thing I thought. Freddie Mercury with a braided belt.
And Devo.
Hey, our friends at Redmond Vodka, if you
Johnny Lawrence on drums.
Our friends at Redmond Vodka, if you ever want to get on the 19th hole stage there and karaoke a little bit, LT.
Yeah, available in 22 states, locally owned and operated. Charles Barkley, one of the great faces behind it. You think they'll sell a lot of Redmond in Galveston, Texas after his comments,
so funny,
which
though.
were incredible. But pick up a bottle today, available at local package store, including Beverage Place Pink Package, 8 times distilled, gluten-free. Ask for it by name, it's Redmond Vodka.
700,000 plus, by the way, attended the draft in Detroit. I thought that ended up looking awesome all weekend
Yeah, I did
long.
too. Yeah, I thought they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, I did too. What was your favorite pick in the draft? By the way, Jerry Jones saying yesterday he's not to the point yet where he wants to give Dak Prescott a long-term deal.
I mean, I think for me, Jared Burrs, first round pick since 2016, edge rusher out of Florida State. But I love Ladd McConkey. I've told you guys I think he's going to be an impact guy, and he's going to have every opportunity immediately with Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers playing alongside Justin Herbert. And this is a team that needed receivers, and I thought they addressed it because you get Ladd McConkey in the second round, early second, and then you get Brendan Rice, Jerry Rice's son, in the 7th. And Brendan Rice ended up being Caleb Williams' go-to last year.
Yeah, I thought they were one of the ones that won the draft because they also got more physical. They're talking about the Chargers, right?
Right.
They got Joe Alt. They got Junior Colson, linebacker, and they got defensive tackle Justin Aboigbe from Alabama. That's Jim Harbaugh saying we're going to be physical at the line of scrimmage. And then they got some of the other steals there. I thought it was a win-win weekend for Harbaugh. And he did it with the 49ers. It should not shock us. And he's in a better quarterback situation than he was with the 49ers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think if I am a Chiefs fan, the team that I worry about most in that division is the LA Chargers. And it's because you've got an elite quarterback and you've got a coach that, as you said, went to 3 consecutive NFC championship games.
I would say Kansas City's pick of Xavier Worthy, just because, and the immediate, reaction was, they got their Tyreek Hill back, and that is unfair to Xavier Worthy. Tyreek Hill is a top 5 receiver in the NFL. Don't do that to Xavier Worthy yet. But all I'm saying, Lance, is we know what Andy Reid can do scheme-wise, and when you've got the kind of speed that Xavier Worthy has, which is exceptional speed, guy is a blazer. When you got that kind of speed, and what was the biggest issue Kansas City had all year?
Well, speed and protection. And after they got speed, they got 2 offensive linemen.
But their receivers were not great. I mean, they dropped a lot of passes. It was such a narrative around Kansas City last year until they finally figured it out and how bad they were at receiver. I like that Xavier Worthy pick for Kansas City. That probably is my favorite pick of the entire draft.
Yeah, I liked what Philadelphia did as well. Not only did they get Quinyon Mitchell, they got Cooper DeJean, the guy from
you got
Iowa.
Two probably starting cornerbacks, and Philadelphia had a problem with coverage this year.
Yep.
So they go out and they address with what some people believe are the 2 best corners. No disrespect to Terrion and Kool-Aid, but to get both of those guys and to imagine you might have starting rookie cornerbacks.
Yeah, that's what I liked about Philadelphia there. They also got 9 draft picks for next year just in case they get tagged with tampering with Saquon. Top of the hour show being brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop.
New York Butcher Shop, we were in there again on Friday. I did smash burgers on the Blackstone Friday night. Doesn't matter what you pick up from Jim and the guys. It is always fantastic. New York Butcher Shop, 2 locations for you. The original in Cabo Heights, the newest location in Greystone. Stop in, see Jim and his great staff. Pick up the finest certified Angus prime beef steaks, burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, all natural chicken cut to order just for you with a great selection of fine wines and desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop. New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or The Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Hang out with The Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out The Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
You got to look your best to play your best, and our friends at Bandwagon can help your team find the perfect uniforms for that upcoming season. Bandwagon is with you every step of the way, from developing your team logo design to choosing from their multitude of samples. You name the sport, they can make it happen. To get your uniform journey started, you can shoot them a message on any social media platform or check out their website, bandwagonsports.com. That's bandwagonsports.com. Next Round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst coming up May 12th through the 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. Free public admission. It's Bama's biggest in-water boat show. Over 100 boats and vehicles on display. Vendors, food trucks, live music all weekend long. Fireworks show on Friday night. How about this? Free Velcro Pygmies concert coming up on Saturday. Mother's Day is Sunday. They're going to take care of mom with free mimosas all day on Sunday. For more information for this incredible event, go online, LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention The Next Round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Stallions are 5-0 in the UFL, a local team here in our area. Alabama's got one more spot currently open, and they're entertaining a big guy for that 13th spot there. Much needed depth there, the big guy. NFL draft is over with. Alabama had Mr. Irrelevant Jalen Key, UAB Alabama player there, part of the festivities this past weekend. We'll talk more about the NFL draft coming up in a little bit. Before we get to four downs, I'd like to tell you this hour is brought to you by our friends at Champy's. Champy's world-famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Are you ready to tailgate again yet? Well, we're only 118 days away from week 0. But as you're enjoying your summer, swing by Sterling, have a lunch or dinner date. Enjoy some cocktails and deep southern fried chicken brined overnight and cooked to order. Also, the wonderful Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. It's Champy's Chicken. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. You can't beat it. It's Champy's Chicken. All right, LT's going to give us the four downs in just a second. NBA playoffs continuing tonight as well. Boston and Miami. Quick thought on anything that happened over the weekend. Thought the T-Wolves looked really impressive.
Well, kind of embarrassing when you look at Phoenix. You know, they swept that regular season series 3-0, and then they get swept out 4-0, the first team to go home. Anthony Edwards has been fantastic all year long for the T-Wolves. Hard to believe that guy played at Georgia. I don't even think they were over 500 under Tom Crean with Anthony Edwards.
22 years old. He seems like he's been in the league a while. 22 years old.
He does. But you think about Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, and they get swept out of the playoffs.
KD now 35. He hasn't won but 2 series, both in the first round since 2019, since he's left Golden State.
If I saw this stat right, Joel Embiid in 21% of his postseason games has not scored a point in the fourth quarter. It's hard to believe.
He is he's becoming a really disliked guy because he's so talented, and it's like he just runs out of gas.
Yeah, I mean, think about that, though. Fourth quarter, pretty important time in a playoff game.
We're talking about Embiid here.
Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
21% of his, if I saw this stat right, 21% of his playoff games has scored 0 points in the fourth quarter.
I would say right now he is playing on one leg. He's dragging that other leg around and drug him around for 50 the other night. He doesn't have a ton around him.
Yeah, but fourth quarter, come on, man.
No, you need it. But if you're having to play the whole dang game with one leg, it can catch up with you. NBA continues tonight, Boston and Miami. Doubleheader, our buddy Barkley on TNT. 4 Downs brought to you by Slice Pizza, another great lunch location.
5 locations now. The original in Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevalley, Crestline Park, and now the newest location in Edgewood. Get in and see the Bajaga Brothers, local pizza, local ingredients. You get a slice and a salad today from the Bajaga Special, the Wing and a Prayer, the Soul Pie, the Hot Mama. You're going to absolutely love it. 5 locations of Slice.
First down.
All celebrity birthdays.
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis, 67. Better career, Daniel Day-Lewis or Dan Marino?
So here's the thing. Dan Marino is widely considered to be maybe the best overall quarterback to have played the game, talent and things like that, but he never won the championship. Daniel Day-Lewis is in argument for the best actor of our generation, but he's actually won championships.
What's his best role?
I did not like the movie, but some people would say Lincoln was his best role. I would not say that.
I think most people say There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood was great.
Or
great. My Left Foot.
Gangs of New York.
Didn't like Gangs of New York.
Another bad movie, but I thought he was fantastic as Bill the Butcher. It seems like Daniel Day-Lewis is really good in bad movies.
They're critically acclaimed, but I don't necessarily like them. I thought There Will Be Blood was a little overrated. I thought Gangs of New York was overrated.
Last of the Mohicans.
In the Name of the Father. I finally watched Last of the Mohicans a few weeks ago. I'm a big Michael Mann fan, the director, and I didn't think it was great. So he does a lot of good,
So that's the complication here. I think he's good in bad movies. Dan Marino, I guess, was good on some bad teams. I mean, they weren't bad teams.
He wins awards, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
But Dan Marino in my life, but I may be wrong.
Yeah.
But
I would go, Marino was more fun to watch than Daniel Day-Lewis. And I'm a film fanatic, but
I can't think of a single Daniel Day-Lewis movie I've watched. I'm like, I like that movie. I can't think of one. Not one. You guys have not named one.
You don't like There Will Be Blood?
I'm like Lance. It was good.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I mean, I would say it's not like one I would be like, There Will Be Blood's back on. I'm going to watch it again.
I was so excited about Gangs of New York, too.
I was, too. Gangs of New York checked all my list. I kind of like period pieces. I like the gang, the mafia stuff.
Cameron Diaz, bad cast.
Yeah, but I mean, you had DiCaprio and Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
How's that going to be bad, right? And it was.
Second down.
Jerry Seinfeld, 70 today.
It's amazing.
Better career, Jerry Seinfeld or Jerry Garcia?
Do you want me to?
Jerry Seinfeld for me because, I was never a big Dead fan. Obviously, he influenced a lot of people. But Jerry Seinfeld for me, I just always wonder how much of it was Seinfeld or was it Larry David?
I think it was good marriage.
Those are the band members in Grateful Dead, too.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about Seinfeld. I guess, I don't know if you guys have ever seen him stand up. I have. I think he's funny. I think he's a talented guy. He's not my taste. But Jerry Garcia is not either. So with the two.
One of the best Ben and Jerry's flavor ever, Jerry Garcia.
I think that is a good
funny.
flavor.
Yeah.
I think I would go Jerry.
I like the flavor. I like the name, though.
Garcia, based on the fact that I think there'll still be deadheads in 100 years.
Rockstar, you want me to blow your mind?
Yes.
Jerry Seinfeld is the age now that Uncle Leo was on the series. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that kind of blow your mind, though? Because Uncle Leo seemed like such an old man.
You can't have time to say hello?
When did Seinfeld debut?
91, 90?
91, 92.
Yeah, it's a long time ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will go Jerry Seinfeld.
Third down.
Dale Earnhardt would have been 73 years old.
You better go strong here.
Better career, Dale Earnhardt or Chris Berman? And the only reason I say Berman is you think about the longevity. Is he not the last of the first ESPN guys?
Yeah,
we know Bob Lee retired.
Not really on now.
Well, he's doing a little bit for him. Yeah. He's still at least got some presence.
Still has prime time, doesn't he?
He does. Now it's on ESPN Plus. You got to try to find it.
Yeah. It's still Earnhardt for me, but I know you guys don't love NASCAR.
Well, I mean, I don't love Berman. Now, when I was a kid, I did, but the longevity of Berman has been insane. I don't know. That's a tough one.
I mean, Berman. I mean, to make it, you know how hard it is, Dunaway, to make it that long in TV. As long as he made it.
Speaking of which, I brought this up this weekend. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, but somebody on the panel it was late draft coverage brought up Mel Kiper, and he should be in the Hall of Fame. And I agree. Like the NFL draft, it would not even be close to what it is without Mel Kiper.
I saw you tweet that, and I saw some people's reaction. I think what people don't realize is media contributors go into the NFL Hall of Fame.
There's a broadcasting wing or a media wing of it. You don't go in like a
right. I don't think he'd get the mustard jacket and go in the way
right.
John Elway went in.
But you give me the draft is not nearly the same without Mel Kiper.
No, I think Mel Kiper's 100% deserving of that. I think guys like Chris Mortensen and Mel Kiper absolutely belong in there. I would have
Chris Berman.
And Berman probably too, yeah. With all that said, I'm probably going to go Dale Earnhardt Sr.
I probably would too.
Yeah.
Fourth down.
Willie Nelson, 91 years old. Willie Nelson, Willie Mays.
Willie Mays is the best baseball player of all time.
In your opinion?
No, he's the best baseball player of all time.
How many games do you see him play?
I didn't see him play any.
I study film.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you say that? You've never seen him play.
He's recognized by many people smarter than me as the best baseball player of all time. Three-tool guy.
Look, Willie Mays was outstanding from what I hear. But Willie Nelson, 91 and still playing? Might not be good.
Still touring nonstop.
And Willie Nelson, if you start looking at it, the awards, I think he's got 15 Grammys. I think I've put you to sleep on this 4 downs.
No, Willie Mays. I was the first one to answer. Willie Mays is the answer to me.
Who do you think's the best baseball player of all time?
Oh, I don't know.
We all said Babe Ruth a couple weeks ago.
I mean, again,
it's dang good.
It's very, very subjective.
Yeah.
Pedro Guerrero.
That's a tough one. Willie Mays. I agree with Dunaway. I think he's probably the best baseball player of all time, though I will point out I have not seen him play live. But Willie Nelson,
But, I mean, how is Willie Nelson viewed? Would he be on anybody's, let's go back to it, anybody's Mount Rushmore of country music singers?
No.
Oh, I think some people would have him there. I don't know that I would. I'll go Willie Mays. It's a tough one, though. I like that one.
Yeah, I would go Willie Mays, too.
All right. So that's our 4 downs today, brought to you by our friends at Slice. Tell us about Slice.
Yeah, 5 great locations created by the late Jeff Bajaya. His legacy continues to be celebrated by his brothers, Jason and Chris. Get into one of those 5 locations today of Slice, local pizza, local ingredients.
While you're talking longevity, congratulations to Casey Dunn, who got his 600th career win. This one coming at UAB over the weekend. So congratulations, Casey. Just a good dude there. He's still coaching baseball down with UAB. Rockstar cut number 4, Bo Nix, introduced in Denver, former Auburn, former Oregon quarterback, and he gets asked about what he's going to be asked about a lot. He's going to be compared to this guy a lot. Drew Brees. This is how Bo handled the first time being asked publicly in this comparison.
There were a lot of comps to Drew Brees during this process. Did you watch Sean and Drew kind of back in the day growing up, and then does it feel a little surreal now to be with Sean after watching those guys?
Yeah, it's very surreal. I grew up watching Drew Brees. I grew up watching Coach Payton coach. I watched their Super Bowl. I knew, the efficient offenses that they had and, how well they worked together. Whenever you're, comped to a guy like Drew Brees, it's an honor just because it's the success he had, the career that he had. So, all it is just talk. I have to, go out there and, continue to do things just for the respect of that comparison. But I think that's what excites me the most. I'm excited to just play football. I'm excited to go out there and compete.
Yeah, Bo Nix being introduced in Denver. I mean, not Drew Brees hasn't been loved on this show, as much as he is in other places, but Brees and Peyton were sort of a dynamic duo there for a long, long time in the NFC South.
It's a heck of a marriage. I mean, they won a ton of games and a Super Bowl. I think if you're Bo Nix, you probably answer that question about as well as you can answer it. I mean, it's a bit of an unfair. It's a question I get that has to be asked, but it is also a bit of an unfair question.
Yeah, and I don't know if a lot of people realize that Brees fell to the second round out of Purdue. So,
yeah, you kind of do remember that differently.
Yeah,
don't you?
Was viewed as a steal for the Chargers.
But I mean, you guys watched him. He's in your division, Dunaway, and it seems like him and the Rams had that history. Lance, Drew Brees. I mean, the last few years of his career, that dude did not have a strong arm. I mean, he was struggling to get the ball down the field.
There was one year where he had an injury, and he was playing through the injury that you could just absolutely take advantage of him because he could throw it down the field. One more, cut number 5, back to. Sort of what Brown was talking about earlier, how Spencer Rattler had dropped in the draft because of a documentary. Well, A.D. Mitchell, the receiver at Texas, had got labeled as an attitude problem in one of those, I don't know if it was in Bruce Feldman's big breakdown, but it was unnamed anonymous scouts, anonymous people, and A.D. Mitchell was labeled as a guy that maybe had some character flaws or character issues. Well, the Colts general manager is Chris Ballard, and he did not take kindly to being asked a question about A.D. Mitchell's quote unquote attitude or personality flaws.
Consistency, is that what's missing? I mean, the athletic traits are oozing.
I don't know. I mean, I read some of the bullshit that was said on TV. I mean, just the typical, excuse my language, our typical league, unnamed sources, bad interview. That's such bullshit. I mean, it is. It's bullshit. Put your name on it. I'm tired of, we tear these young men down. These are 21, 22 young men. And if people out there can tell me they're perfect in their lives, it's crap. It's crap. This is a good kid. And, for those reports to come out, I said it last year, it's bullshit. I'm sorry. I apologize for the language. I don't, but I do.
I don't, but I do.
I love it. Our friend Chip Brown, who covers Texas day in, day out, believes that A.D. Mitchell will be a better pro than Xavier Worthy. Mitchell's going to be a starter from day one, along with Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor. You just wonder, what is the future for Anthony Richardson? He looked really good until he got hurt.
Yeah, the question is, does he have a quarterback that can make A.D. Mitchell look good?
Right.
Yeah, and I don't know.
But your backup right now is Joe Flacco, who looked so good for Cleveland up until the playoffs.
Yeah, that's just a gamble at quarterback last year in Anthony Richardson. Flacco has been the old savior last year in Cleveland. We'll see what that team looks like. That's just you think about iconic rants in NFL draft history. Speaking of Mel Kiper, early in his career, it was the Colts that went on the rant about who's Mel Kiper.
Yeah, Bill Polian.
My postman knows more about it.
If that was Jerry Jones that just would have done that would be one of those epic rants. I just don't think Chris Ballard is going to be a guy that's going to be in the, I don't know.
I get what he's saying, too. That it is the part about the draft that I hate, the unnamed sources, because I feel like half of what the unnamed sources are people that are trying to hurt somebody's draft stock so they can get them. Is some of it true? Maybe some of it is true, but is some of it just gamesmanship so I can get, somebody else at a better pick? Maybe so. Yeah. I don't know, man. I do hate the unnamed sources because ultimately, while it may benefit you, you're also dealing with somebody's character, and it's hard to shake those things. Like, there are a lot of people that just because of that report about Spencer Rattler will never think of him the same. And there are a lot of people that never watched that Netflix special.
Not one time.
And they went back and they were like, wow, I got to see what Spencer Rattler did that looked so bad on there. And now they've judged Spencer Rattler by that only because, and I'm not blaming Ian Rappaport. Ian's just saying what he was told by NFL officials.
That's right. That multiple teams were mentioning that to him.
Yeah, that it got brought up so often by these teams. And now a lot of people are like, I work in this business. I remember Spencer Rattler did the show. I didn't watch it.
Yep. I didn't either. I thought it was a boring show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care what some high school quarterback's saying on some reality show.
I remember watching the first 10 minutes of it, wanting it to be Last Chance U.
Right.
And it wasn't. So I was like, I'm not in on this at all. All right, quick break here. When we come back, we'll talk more of what's going on in the sports world and have trash for you. Show being brought to you today by Hemp Hill. They brought you best and worst of the weekend, Browning.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hemp Hill Services did bring you best and worst.
That was
of the
my bad.
weekend,
I threw it to Brown. It was supposed to go to you.
205-229-2090. Make sure that AC unit ready to keep up with this changing weather. It's going to be in the 90s in some parts of Alabama this week. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. And Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Tell them the Next Round sent you. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville. Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Birmingham's favorite lawn party returns to Greystone for the Regions Tradition, May 8th through 12th. Watch the legends of the game at Greystone and check out the Celebrity Pro-Am featuring Charles Barkley, Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer, Hugh Freeze, and country superstar Riley Green. Enjoy the fun in the sun at the White Claw Watering Hole and Casamigos Club. And don't miss the food trucks and the Friday concert featuring the Black Jacket Symphony. The Regions Tradition. Buy your tickets today.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Back with you on the next round. Appreciate it. I just got a gift that arrived from a viewer from the Badlands of South Dakota, Brett.
Yeah.
The trucking world.
Man,
did you get one, Brown?
I did.
He
Mine's
picks up
blue.
some interesting stuff on the road.
Would you call this tie-dye?
I got a Mount Rushmore hat. How about that?
How about that? Who's on the Mount Rushmore hats?
Just the Mount Rushmore logo.
Oh.
Yep. A lot of pressure of Mount Rushmore.
Okay, if I asked you who wore hats the best, Matt Campbell does not wear a hat well, although he wears one all the time.
Yeah. Who wore a hat the best?
Yeah.
Tough question right there. I don't know how I'd answer that. I did see the debate one time, is Mount Rushmore on the Mount Rushmore of mountains? And I don't think it is.
No.
That's what's the irony.
Everest is the GOAT,
Everest
right?
is one.
Yeah, but are you going in the U.S.?
You got Oak, you got Ruffner,
You get over oak, double oak.
Fiji.
Yeah, Fuji.
I think Kilimanjaro. And then
K2.
that fourth spot is tough right there. K2, or you might go Mount McKinley. Mount Vesuvius. I mean, it had a bad history, but it was still there, right? Would it be?
Whatever the one was in the New Zealand documentary I saw.
Not good?
Pretty deadly.
Yeah, but I do not think Mount Rushmore is on the Mount Rushmore Mountains.
Bobby, when is Jim going to pay off the bracket challenge? It was supposed to be tomorrow, but Brownie is off tomorrow.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Wow,
So,
I didn't even know that.
well, I mean, I give them a range of dates, and I really don't know how it's working yet. I'm not supposed to know, but I would give them when I can do it.
Right.
But I guess they're going to knock on my door at 5 in the morning. I don't even know if people know where I live. I don't really know how.
Wait, I thought you were just going to get up one day and just go do it.
I thought so too. But then when I say that, I would like, hey, I'm going to do it next Tuesday. They're like, no, you're not supposed to know where it is. I don't know how it's going to work.
I didn't know that was the case.
Wait, who said that?
I don't know.
Well, they got to be able to go with you, so somebody's got to be able to plan ahead.
That's what I'm saying. I was going to plan ahead and let's go next Tuesday.
Yeah, but I would think it's just you and Taylor going, right?
Yeah, I think EG's going now, driving. Or something. I just
whole team.
Let's try to make it difficult to sneak in a gym.
I think it's there's some concern of me cheating, but I'm not going to.
I do want it documented. No, I want it heavily documented.
Oh yeah,
yes.
no problem with people going to video, but I think they're trying to keep my departure date secret so that I can't plan ahead.
Right.
But I'm not going to plan ahead. So either you cheat on these or you don't cheat on these.
Well, and I think it's going to be difficult even if you cheated.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, first of all, I would have to call some people, and I just don't do that.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know how you feel about this, but again, forgiveness easier than permission.
Right.
If you were to call ahead, there's a good chance some of these places are like, we can't have you in there for liability.
Oh, I know. It could backfire on you very,
that's why
very
I think it's
easily.
best that you sneak in.
Now,
but at the same time, if you miss one of these joints, you're not going to be able to make 5 in a day.
I'm going to give you a little warning here. As somebody that has paid off multiple bracket bets, you're in graduation season.
Oh, I know.
And that's where some of these gyms, they're going to be set up for graduation.
Like Coleman Coliseum now is set up for graduation.
That's
I
right.
don't know when it is.
I don't either, and I don't know how long they keep it set up for graduation. But that's going to be a problem
That's
right
me
there.
practicing. I've been working on this since Crypto.com. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Is that a 8-foot goal?
It was not a 19.9 foot shot either. It was a free throw.
I didn't even think about graduation.
Oh yeah. That's what Jim's going to run.
This may jump into summer before I go now.
I'm fine with it. I've never been one of those like it has to immediately been paid off. I think maybe the summer content, it's actually better if you do it in June.
It may end up being June when I catch them in the kid camp, and I'll run in there. Hey, look at the kids.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Just here to pick my son up.
We can make it easy, so we're going to be at the coast.
Can I get one more there, Junior?
Feed me.
We're going to be at the coast this weekend with our friend Todd Coder.
Yep.
Would you waive it if just for 30 minutes?
I love this.
We tie a pot roast to your leg and you swim out about 200 yards.
Yeah, I'll waive it.
Yeah. So first of all, I can't swim. Bandwagon Sports.
That is not the biggest issue.
Bandwagon. That tiger shark's gonna have a feast with me.
It would go for the roast first, though.
You think so? You think so?
Probably.
Yeah, but then he's going to be like, dang, that was tasty.
It depends on your weight of wellness. Like if you said that you would gain 5, you've lost 7, so you're a net -2.
Yeah, I'm
leaner
leaner
a few
now.
more. Yeah, they're not going to want you.
Yeah. Or tastier. Nobody wants the fatty gristle. Tell us about Bandwagon Sports.
Listen, it is all-star season, and our friends at Bandwagon want to help your team look their best, and then they'll play their best, all right? Whether you've got a vision already for your team uniforms or if you're just starting from scratch, Bandwagon can help your team hit the field in style. Their friendly staff walks alongside you throughout the design, the creation, the sizing, and more. But it's not just uniforms. Bandwagon can create any custom apparel. If your business is looking for a newest polo or your all-star moms want matching tank tops, Bandwagon is your place. Check out their website for more. BandwagonSports.com. BandwagonSports.com for all your custom apparel needs. Next round, jump on the bandwagon. BandwagonSports.com.
All right. Trash coming up in just a second. Maybe Orlovsky at some point.
Maybe
in the final segment.
Depends on his ESPN obligations.
Okay.
He works for them first.
Justin Hokanson sent one thing out, a tweet, as the NFL draft was wrapping up this weekend. And basically the gist of it was this, that the recruiting class at Auburn in 2022, 2021, and 2022 were so, in his words, brutal. 46 transfers out of those 3 classes, most of them leaving with no significant production at all. Others left football, or others didn't even arrive on campus. And it's going by the fact that Auburn's draft this weekend, 5 guys picked, but all in the late rounds. that this may be, Justin doesn't say this, but he sort of hints that this is rock bottom for this program and that it's only up from here with Hugh Freeze.
Well, you mentioned Florida only having one draft selections. What was the other thing that you found amazing, which I agreed with? Florida having,
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M only having one under Jimbo.
Yeah.
Is it true? Auburn's only had, since Cam Newton, they hadn't had a first-round
That
guy?
was a Kevin Skarbinski tweet. I didn't go back and independently verify.
Yeah,
it,
I
but
tried
did-
to think about it. I couldn't
think of
remember
another one. That
anybody.
it was of offensive players in the first round.
In my head, I can't think of one.
Yeah. This started, this gets blamed on Brian Harsin, and certainly he shoulders a lot of the blame. This started with Gus Malzahn, though. Late Gus Malzahn got this ball rolling. Brian Harsin never unrolled this ball, and Hugh Freeze is trying to do so now.
Yeah.
And now Hugh's taking some steps in the right direction, recruiting-wise at least.
Brian actually, some believe, hurt it a little bit more.
Oh, I don't doubt that, yeah.
But it was, tough for him to get the players on campus, stay on campus.
But it's why, and I know a lot of people don't like the concept of the transfer portal. But without a transfer portal, Bo Nix is never a number 12 pick. If Bo Nix stayed at Auburn, he would not have become the number 12 pick.
And some say, if not for the pandemic, that extra year helped him become the number 12 pick too.
So, and I think that's emblematic of some of the issues that Auburn has had. You're hoping Hugh Freeze can fix those issues. Again, I'll say in recruiting, at least, he's taken a step in the right direction of fixing those issues. But, now they've got to be developed and perform up to their level of expectation on the field and become first-round draft picks so Auburn can start going out and selling that, because who's selling it right now is Alabama and Georgia and LSU.
And Texas.
And Texas. They're all out there selling, come here and be a first-round draft pick. And they can sell that because they've got a history of it. And as of right now, Auburn just doesn't have that history. And Hugh Freeze, that's his job. He's got to change that.
Yeah. Hoke makes a point that Auburn Live, by the way, Auburn Live on 3 Sports for Justin Hokanson stuff. Hoke makes a point that Hugh is trying to sell it on culture change and high school recruiting, not just to, go all in on the portal to win games now. Sort of a slow burn down at Auburn. Good stuff from Hoke there. You can read his stuff at Auburn Live on 3 Sports. Trash Time brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. Rockstar, hit the big button.
After the break, we're going to interview Eric Weihenmayer, who climbed the highest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. But he's gay. He's blind.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
It's spring buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right are here to help. They were veteran founded here in Birmingham. They offer loans throughout the country, and while the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with our friends at Mortgage Right. There is no cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You can get more info by going to their website. Go to mortgageright.com/TNR. Call their Highway 280 office, 205-900-7200. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender. Rockstar, we got a picture of these jeans we're about to talk about. The high fashion world's always been known for pushing boundaries, but pea-stained jeans kind of take the cake here.
Oh, wow.
Well, I tell you,
the glasses are the coolest part.
If you have an incontinence problem and you wear those all the time, all of a sudden the incontinence is less of a problem.
But I don't think these smell like piss.
Oh, they don't. Now, that's the
it's
thing.
not authentic, is it?
Don't you hate it, though, like when you're in the men's room and like water splashes out on the front of your pants and it looks like...
No, the worst is when you go to the counter because it comes up
Oh,
right at my
exactly.
waist
Yeah.
and there's been water on it. You
Yeah,
don't
lean
notice.
on it, and
That's
you
what
lean
happened
on
to me a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
then
looks
you're
like you've completely pissed yourself.
I know. Like everybody's just going to assume, no, the sink did that. Oh, yeah, I'm
Or
sure
when
it
you
is.
piss yourself afterwards and you lean on the counter and you get water with the piss. Isn't that awful? Y'all ever go through?
But look how authentic it looks, Rockstar. They've even got a little salty stain around.
They really do.
Around the
So
dark spot.
It's been there a little while.
Apparel company called Jordan Luca is hawking jeans on their site. Now, they advertise this as the Stain Stone Wash. Lighter wash goes for $608 compared to the usual $800 they normally sell at. And yes, when they say pea stained, obviously it looks just like it. Crazy thing is already sold out of these things.
Good looking fella they got modeling on them, too. That's probably going to sell
What
a
are you
lot.
going to do, take a picture?
It's like Sheldon decided he was going to play down in the post in the NBA from Big Bang Theory.
So a stolen boat triggered a search in Florida's heartland for the alleged thief, but what deputies found was the man responsible disguised in a blonde wig, blue dress, and sunglasses to elude capture. According to deputies, they responded around 3 p.m. on Wednesday afternoon to a stolen boat. Early investigation revealed 33-year-old Joshua Kalatka was the alleged suspect, so deputies began to search the area. During the search, deputies saw Kalatka leaving a house dressed as a woman.
I think I've seen this guy fight late night card on ESPN.
No, he's Jack from Lost, isn't he?
He's got a little Matthew Fox in him.
But you're right.
But
What? You're right, Dunaway even has like the colorful flower ears already. Yeah.
So he did this in an attempt to disguise himself. Kalatka was taken into custody, arrested on 2 county warrants, plus the theft of the boat and the John Deere Gator utility vehicle. Deputies also found multiple other items on the scene that were possibly stolen from the same area.
Yeah,
it's like a tumbleweed.
Very square jaw for a woman.
Hey, just think, though. Just think. There's enough Bud Light out there that at 2 a.m. somebody goes,
I don't know.
That's my choice right there.
Yeah, that hair looks really flammable.
Looks like Andy Dick.
And that ain't a good thing.
It was not a compliment.
You don't sit out live saying you don't want to look like his Andy Dick.
Yeah.
Okay, Ranker.com did the best rock songs of the 80s.
Oh, they'd never get these wrong.
Now, 225 80 songs. They did a list. Here are your top 10. Love number 10, Rock You Like a Hurricane, Scorpions.
Okay. Pass.
Number 9, Photograph, Def Leppard.
Good
Big
song.
fan.
Yep, like both of them.
Like that song.
Like 2 for 2 so far.
Number 8 on the list, another one, Bites the Dust, Queen. I like it. I don't think it's top 10.
Yeah, another one bites. I agree with you.
Hey, Freddie's getting some air there, isn't he?
Boy, yes.
Number 7, Here I Go Again, Whitesnake. I like it, but not top 10 words.
No, but a fantastic song.
Is that the one where, that's it. It had to be
Tony
on here.
Katane's on the car.
Yeah, on the car, right?
Yeah, it was his girlfriend. It was a big pissed off the rest of the band because he had to have his girlfriend in the video.
You know, it's funny that it pissed
I think
off
it worked
the band.
out for him.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's funny it pissed off the band because it's what it's most known for now.
Number 6 on the list, I never liked their music. I get it, I guess, though. Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2.
Oh, I've never
Pink
been
Floyd.
a Pink Floyd guy.
You know, I was talking to some people about the 15-year anniversary of Black Jacket Symphony, which, by the way, congratulations, Rockstar. They made the announcement at the show Friday night that Jimmy Buffett is the next thing, and I hear that it's official that Sean Henniger is playing.
It's official.
Yeah.
Yes, the
Jimmy
new
Buffett.
contracts have been signed. Yeah,
so
July 12th.
How many shows?
Have you found a floral black shirt yet?
No, I have some that just got too small because I put a little dad bod weight on. But yeah, it's I'm still cramming. I'm getting there.
You know how many shows?
I think we have 3 or 4 right now. That's not a big tour.
Is it hard to find somebody to play a steel drum? He's got steel drum in a lot of
There
his
is a
songs.
lot of going there. I didn't know that 90% of his songs have harmonica. Like,
ooh,
a lot of harmonica.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
You gonna have a parrot up there?
I'm going to. I don't know if I should do flip flops or what.
There'll be parrot heads up there.
Yeah.
Flip flops. Got to
I'm
shave
gonna
those toes around LT.
I know that I'm going into a.
I won't be there to see it.
You are. You're walking.
You ain't got to worry about me.
I think Buffett did it barefoot.
Probably did.
You are walking into a rabid fan base. You're
Yes,
right.
that's what I'm. So I am.
Like,
working
I
my
don't
tail
know
off.
that you've done one that has a more rabid fan base.
But my point is, Benny Mack, who I was playing golf with on Saturday, tells me that this Pink Floyd is his favorite Black Jacket Symphony.
Oh, it's one of the original. Like they toured on it last. Patrick is the singer. He's amazing. It's a great show.
Yeah.
And the lights are amazing. Like Pink Floyd, they got long songs, yes, but it's a very good show to sit down and watch.
Yeah.
His quote was, "I like it better than Pink Floyd's The Wall. I like the Black Jacket Symphony better."
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Oh, you did Pink Floyd? I don't remember that.
No.
No.
Number 5 on the list. I know I'm in the minority. Don't love this song. Summer of '69, Bryan Adams.
Boy. I mean, it got played a lot when I was a kid.
Played it till
wore
his
it
fingers
out.
bled.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised it's top 10.
The weird fact that I remember this, but music connects us to a moment in time, right?
Uh-huh.
When I got in the car after getting cut from my baseball team at the University of Montevallo, turned on the car, this song played on the radio. I teared up a little bit right then. I
Did
teared
you
up
really?
a little bit right then.
Like,
Sitting on your
it's-
mama's porch.
Because I always play it like it was the beginning of my broadcasting career, like it didn't hurt my feelings, but it hurt when I got cut. And that when I walked back from the batting cage and got into the car, that song was the first one.
You know the most random song that takes me somewhere is Down by Jay Sean and Lil Wayne. Takes me to the Rose Bowl. First time I was ever there, Alabama, Texas. We got to the stadium, and the first thing we did once we dropped our stuff in the press box, we walked down on the field.
Right.
And when I was on the field, Down was playing by Jay Sean and Lil Wayne. And I will never forget Well, every time I hear that song.
Let's do this for one summer show. We just make a list of songs and the moment it takes you back to. And we just do a whole show of those. And we just tell stories.
Number 4, easy for most people, and it would not be on this list if it wasn't for the Sopranos. Don't Stop Believing Journey.
It's a good song.
But every time I hear it, I think about that finale.
Every time I hear it, I think about
do you guys think there's
concert at the amphitheater.
Steve, look this way. Huh? this way.
Is there any way this song is on there if it's not for the Sopranos?
I think so. I think it was a big hit before that.
It was, but there's no way it's on this list.
Well, I think it is. Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry brought it back too. Don't forget to give them
number
credit.
3, ACDC's You Shook Me All Night Long. They've got better.
Yeah, I think they do have
This
better.
Would you say this is their most popular song though?
Let's just introduce them like to mainstream.
Yeah, maybe. That or
it's
Back
their
in Black.
I think it's their mainstream most popular song. I think there are probably a lot of people that have heard this song and you tell them it's AC/DC and they don't even
I think
know
if
who
you
they're
look at
listening to.
downloads, and I could be wrong, I think Thunderstruck and Back in Black are right there with it. I think it's going to be really close.
I like this song better than I do the other two, though.
I like For Those About to Rock. I mean, AC/DC's got some really, really good stuff.
But they're not a go-to for me.
Number 1 is Highway to Hell. 2 is Thunderstruck. You Shook Me All Night Long. Back in Black, and then TNT are their top 5.
This is
so Highway to Hell is AC/DC. It's not Van Halen.
That's right. It's crazy.
Running with the Devil.
Running with the Devil. Okay,
Very
so, which is a Highway to Hell. If you,
it is.
Number 2 on the list, Sweet Child of Mine, Guns N' Roses.
It would be number 1 for me.
Really?
Yep. I can tell you, Buffy Burson, my buddy at Montevallo, senior year. Yep, Buffy, and number 1.
And number 1 on the list, I think he's got better, but Crazy Train, Ozzy Osbourne.
I like it.
So 80s.
Yep.
That is trash today.
Chipper Jones wore it out.
He did.
Brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right LT.
Yeah, our friends at Mortgage Right, they are the mortgage professionals. If you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right, they are here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned home buying veteran, their great service and low rates make the process easy. So remember, whether you're looking for your final home or your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right is your one-stop shop mortgage. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Or call Birmingham office, Highway 280, 205 900 7200.
Krusty's right. I said they never get these right, and I liked all 10 of them. That was a great list there. Speaking of great lists, man, the draft, 7 rounds of great lists. I thought it was a great weekend in Detroit.
Dan Orlovsky joins us now, and I'll just do this on the fly. Dan, you tell us when you need to go if it's before we're done talking, because I know ESPN's got you doing a lot of stuff today. We appreciate you making a few minutes for us. First of all, how are you? Have you recovered?
Oh, I don't even need to recover. I'm tremendous. Detroit was great, man. It was awesome. The city was so good. They caught good weather, ton of fun. So I don't even have a real job, so I don't need to recover.
Hey, what are your thoughts on, because obviously we covered the guy. We had one of our first NIL deals was with Bo Nix when he was still quarterback at Auburn. He goes number 12 overall. I know Sean Payton's saying he loves the guy. Do you think his game translates as a franchise quarterback to the next level?
Yeah, there's a lot of elements of it that does. You know, like if you ask what are the most important things to get a quarterback's game to translate into the NFL for Sean Payton, right? Because it always matters the style. Number 1, you have to have elite ball placement. You know, like, because that offense that Sean runs in many ways is predicated upon, hey, if I call a 5-yard pass, I'm expecting to get 8. You know, if I call a 12-yard pass, I want 15. And you can't do that unless you get the ball to the right place, shoulder-wise or out front behind, all that, and allow a guy to do something a little with it afterwards. And the second thing is you have to have lightning fast processing. Like, you just have to see things and cancel out progressions. And I think Bo really displayed that. And, you know, my big thing with Bo was everyone the majority of people that think Bo Nix, that are football fans, either deep or casual, when they hear that name, I guarantee most of them think about the young man that ran around at Auburn with like a chicken with his head cut off and just launched nuclears, you know, over his head, trying to make big plays as an 18-year-old kid. He's really not that player anymore. I mean, he's grown so much and matured and developed so much, and you know, now he's so much more on time and so much more tactical and so much more very, hitting singles oriented. And so there's a lot of his game that I liked. I think he's I think he's going to play a lot like Andy Dalton did, maybe plus athlete-wise for the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm interested in Jim Harbaugh. You can have a great draft that doesn't turn into wins, but I thought it was a really good weekend for Jim Harbaugh. What do you think about Harbaugh's draft with the Chargers?
Yeah, I mean, I said on TV this morning, I thought Herbert was the winner of the draft. You get Joe Alt, and not only do you get a big-time offensive tackle, but you pair him with Slater. And it's also just very clear, and I know it's been in words and styles of his past, but like how the Chargers are going to play offensively. Like they're going to always put the quarterback in optimal situations with the style of ball they're going to run. And then Ladd McConkey, I know of a team that wanted Ladd McConkey in the absolute worst way in the first round. It just didn't fall that way to them when they were offered something else opportunity-wise. But they were so high on McConkey. And I think, Ladd is one of those receivers that he's got to. You're not going to put Ladd McConkey out there by himself and be like, "Hey, man, go run on a comeback or a go route or a slant that often." Like he's got to go to a place that has the mind, play caller wise, of hey, how can we get this kind of formation to free him up so then he could set the guy at the top of his route, or how can we motion him down? And Harbaugh and crew obviously do a very good job of that if you go back to the national title game. So I think getting those two pieces for Herbert, he I think now has a much better chance to play well this year than I had anticipated going into the draft.
Dan Orlovsky on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. The Philadelphia Eagles are starting 2 rookie corners this year. Dan, as a former quarterback in the league, that would probably excite a lot of quarterbacks, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that'll be the case, though. Like, I think Slay still starts for them.
Okay.
I do think Slay starts for them. There's 2 parts of the Eagles for me. One, really good draft, at least on paper and prospect-wise, with Mitchell and DeJean. If DeJean is good enough to play at the nickel position, then C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who was there, Detroit, and now is back, gets to play safety. That strengthens your unit big time. If Mitchell is good enough, I don't know if Bradbury plays that much, which obviously has been their starting corner for the past couple of seasons. So you do like the fact of the infusion of talent. But that being said, in 2022, when they won the Super Bowl, they led the NFL in sacks, and they had 125 negative plays created. That led the NFL. In 2023, when they had this epic collapse, they had 92 negative plays. That was worst in the NFL. So as much as I want to, really good job getting those secondary guys, if Carter and Davis and Nakobe Dean don't take steps forward and become dudes, I don't think it's that impactful, because it's just the style of defense that they are, who they are, even under Vic Fangio. So again, I think really positive weekend, but that really brings back to last year's draft, and those kids got to go.
Give me who the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year will be this year. Because I think Ladd McConkey, a guy you brought up, is in a good spot, although he's a second-round guy, to possibly be that guy.
Yeah, I could see Ladd getting 80 catches or so this year. I still believe that it's a neck and neck for me with Caleb and J.J. McCarthy. Now, J.J. obviously has got to go earn that starting job, and I'd be surprised if he's not the guy by October, as much as I've thought highly of Sam Darnold in the NFL for a while. I just think JJ's capable of going out there and running that offense. But Caleb Williams as well. I mean, it's a good offensive line in Chicago, a couple good tight ends. I think their skill group's probably top 7, top 8 in the conference, which says a lot coming from where they were. I think how quickly he gets on the same page with throwing to a covered receiver is going to matter. So those would be the 2 guys that I would sit there and say those are at least – April 28 is or 29 is my favorites.
When I watch the draft, I only see one owner in the center of the war room. Seems like he's running everything. Does the rest of the league or the rest of the NFL media talk about Jerry Jones? Do you think it's a problem that he's right there in the middle? Is that why they're sort of, to me, not trending in a good direction? I mean, does anybody talk about how Jerry Jones seems to be every one of y'all's shots on the coverage? It's Jerry Jones oriented, it seems.
Yeah, I'm shocked you were talking about Jerry Jones. I wouldn't have figured that out when you started that question. Everyone knows it. You know it more when you're in my world. Our world, the media world. I didn't pay attention to it much as a player, but everyone knows it, and that's the point is that gets said so often is, and I'll take it specific to Dak. Like, even though Dak has been their starting quarterback and he's had one of the best careers ever for a Dallas Cowboy quarterback, he's not their star. Where if you talk about the New York Giants, although they've had tremendous, Eli Manning is their star. Aaron Rodgers was the star. Brett Favre was the star, the face of it. Jerry's the face of the Cowboys. And I think it's silly in two ways. We have to tip our hat to Jerry Jones for the brand that he has made the Cowboys. The TV play its part, of course, for the way that he has impacted the NFL. And they've built good football teams. They had another good draft. We also can say that maybe that's the real reason why they haven't gotten over the hump for 2+ decades is it's always at the forefront of the conversation.
Hey, go back to April 2005. We saw special moments. We see them every year in the draft. When you got a call, 5th round, Detroit Lions, where were you? What do you remember most about that?
My draft stories, it was not I don't remember it positively, my draft night experience. So first of all, my draft was a 2-day thing. That was Saturday, Sunday when the draft was rounds 1 through 3 Saturday morning, rounds 4 through 7 Sunday. Going into the draft, my agents were a little bit from like, hey, we could see rounds 2 to round 6, as a player, like, what? So a couple of quarterbacks went off the board. That year it was number 1, Alex Smith, and then Aaron, Jason Campbell were first rounders. So it gets to like the 2nd round and I'm not getting anything really. And then it gets to the 3rd round and I get a call from Seattle. And Seattle goes, hey, we are, but we're going to take you with our next pick here coming in the middle of the 3rd round, something like that. So I don't react. I'm watching the television. I was at my dorm room on campus, just some friends around. I had a buddy who got drafted in the 3rd round to the Saints as a linebacker as well. So Seattle's pick comes up. I fully expect it to be me. It's David Green from the University of Georgia, the quarterback. So I am under the assumption Seattle's taking me. They take David Green, and he's a quarterback. So I immediately become emotional in the moment. I'm like, what the fudge, dude? Like, angered. And then, and I don't mean this in any bad way, but I'm just being candid about the moment. And I don't know this guy, but the last pick of the 3rd round was Maurice Clarett. And Maurice had some of the off the field issues. And so, for a guy that tried to do the right thing, all that, your quarterback goes, Maurice Clarett gets taken in the 3rd round. I don't. I smashed my phone that night during that pick because I'm just emotionally incapable of controlling myself. Wake up the next morning and I'm like, I got to get a hold of my agent, So I go to Verizon. Get
don't have a phone.
This and that. Yeah. And my agent's like, hey, the first pick of the 4th round is probably going to be Kyle Orton, again, quarterback out of Purdue who went to the Bears. You'll go shortly after that. Great. I don't. I go in the 4th round. 4th round goes Stephon Befores gets drafted, this and that. Finally, 5th round comes. I get a call from a 313 number. It's Coach Mariucci who says, we're going to trade up to draft you. I'm still angered in the moment and then overcome with like joy and oh my gosh, 12 years of hard work and all the sacrifice and whatnot. And then you're happy, or then I was happy. But I remember for most of it being like disappointed.
Well, it starts with Seattle being liars. Don't call me and tell me you're going to take me. You're liars.
Jerks.
I'll never cheer for him again.
Yeah, but I mean, I know you wanted it to work better, but I guarantee you, I don't know what pick number that was. There's 150 guys trade places with you right now that were drafted in front of you.
Yeah, it was $145. I was the 145th pick. Again, we often hear this in life, right? Like I wouldn't have traded anything. I went to Detroit. I met so many good people that have impacted my life in way bigger ways than football. And, I followed them for 12 years and obviously I'm in this seat now. So yeah, like I said, leading up to the phone call, probably pissed off. And then after the phone call, it's just total jubilation. And everyone always asks me, well, like, was it worth it? Would you do it again? I'm like, I would do it again in a heartbeat just to get drafted for sure.
Great story. Thank you very much for the time, Dan. We appreciate you working us in today.
You got it, bud. Later, guys.
All right, see you. Dan Orlovsky with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
And this hour being brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Many of you have swung by there for your first time and Get hooked on it and love it so much when you're going to the beach or back from the beach all summer long. Just off the I-65 exit in Alabaster, throw it in Waze. It's just right off, less than a mile basically, from the interstate. Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com.
Follow LT on Twitter @TheLanceTaylor.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst is back May 12th through 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It is Bama's biggest in-water boat show with more than 100 boats and vehicles on display, vendors and food trucks, live music all weekend long, and it is free public admission. Don't forget the Friday night fireworks show, free Velcro Pygmies concert Saturday, free mimosas for Mom on Mother's Day Sunday. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. It's the annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst May 12th through 14th. LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
We're going to play the game in just a second of What Does This Tweet Mean? It's one of my favorite games.
I think this will be obvious.
What does this tweet mean? Coming up in just a second after Brownie tells us about JohnstonRVCenter.com.
I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicator, always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com. And when you go to Johnston RV Center, they are so confident in their pricing. They are going to give you a national guarantee. They'll beat any price on a comparable RV, and that is a nationwide guarantee at Johnston RV Center. All you got to do is show them that price right there, and they'll beat it. Also, don't forget, RV Warranty Forever gives you that lifetime warranty on any new RV purchase or any qualifying used. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicator, always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com.
By the way, over the weekend in football, Auburn wide receiver Jay Fair ended up committing to USC, the Trojans, 5'11", 186, 2-year starter for Auburn, second on the team in yards and receptions last year. So he goes, and Miller Moss will be throwing footballs to Jay Fair next year for the USC Trojans. Meanwhile, in basketball, Brownie, let's play a quick game of What Does This Tweet Mean?
Well, out of context means nothing. Preston Murphy is an assistant basketball coach at Alabama, and just a few moments ago, he tweeted this. For those of you that are listening and cannot see, it is Clifford, the big red dog, wearing an Alabama hat. Anybody want to take a shot at breaking this down?
Well, I said earlier that a lot of people were using Clifford the Big Red Dog for the big center from Rutgers, Clifford or Murray.
It's a big get. I mean, and almost everyone, universally, their portal rankings, top 10 guy. And position of need is not guard.
He is currently on campus, according to many reports. I saw one I was going to credit here. I think it was on 3.
Yeah, well, Tipton had him
Joe Tipton,
arriving last night on campus.
Yeah, because, I think today, it felt like the tide shifted towards the Kentucky.
Ugana Onyensu.
It felt like the tide had kind of shifted towards him. A lot of people in the chat room were saying the Big Red Dog wanted too much money. This guy's a better bargain. I mean, crap, the way Oates is going, he may just get both of them. I mean, that's kind of the way he's playing the game right now.
He was a 10-8 guy last year with not a lot around him.
This is the Big Red Dog.
Yeah. So you would assume at 600 or at 6'11", 240 pounds.
3 blocks a game.
Yeah, this guy's going to get a lot of.
He had.
Is that league he plays in at Rutgers? Was that pretty good?
Yeah, Big Ten. I mean, and it wasn't like a fluke. It wasn't a one-off. He averaged 2 blocks, a little over 2 blocks a year before.
Yeah. So,
well, I have to say, man, this is the best roster Alabama's ever had.
Yeah. Can you show me the roster again? The Taylor Corn created tweet from the next round. We'll put it up there. 13 scholarship players you get. There are 12 that'll be on the screen you've got here. Only 1 scholarship left for a big guy is what I was told last night. But that doesn't mean somebody else doesn't hit the portal. Still could happen. Right now, Mark Sears is expected to come back. He has until May 29th. Grant Nelson, the announcement's supposed to happen today that he is coming back.
I think the tweet you just saw brings Grant Nelson back because now Grant can play in his more natural position.
The 4 or the 3, which is where he likes to play. You don't like to look at that list and say if you got
expendable.
If you got both of these big guys, the Kentucky guy and the Rutgers guy. But Roger makes a great point. Maybe the Kentucky guy, maybe that crystal ball projection on Yensu, all that was just while Clifford the Big Red Dog was in town, just to pressure him a little bit. To, you want on? You want on? You want on?
Yeah, that's
if not, we're going to go with this guy. Right. You want on?
Yeah.
So maybe you're playing a little game there. But that's the roster. And you can see that whole roster, download it, save it for yourself, and give Little T some credit for it if you'd like that. Right
That's
there
a heck of a roster.
Our social media platform at Next Round Live. At Next Round Live. Caleb, you said it. I wasn't gonna name names, man. Not gonna name names because that guy played some meaningful minutes at time this year. In fact, I don't think you get out of the Grand Canyon game. You don't get out of the Grand Canyon game without Mo Diabate.
He was big. I mean, there are a lot of guys that stepped up that are now gone in that Final Four run.
You don't get to the Final Four without Mo Diabate because you don't get out of the Grand Canyon game.
You could say the same about Rylan Griffin.
In my opinion. Oh, I love you know how I feel about Rylan
I do.
Griffin.
I'm well aware, yes.
All right. That's our show today. We'll continue the portal craziness tomorrow on our show at 9 a.m. Central Time. Meltdown at 2 o'clock this afternoon live, 2 o'clock Central. More Uncorked. The Pennant Grace starting this week and a lot more here on our platform. Set your alerts. Give us a thumbs up. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.